and we're about to go live with Fracture in just a couple of moments. The players have loaded in. This is gonna be my first cast of 2022. This is gonna be my first game watching Badman play in FS Esports. So that's gonna be a nice experience. So I'm personally excited. I hope you guys can share my excitement too. But this is Fracture, baby, and it's been so long since we've seen this map. I love it personally. Of course, I know that there's a lot of people who don't like playing Fracture, but if you're one of those people, get used to it. This map is here to stay.
Yeah, I think that Factor is going to be an interesting one. We are going to have a lot of different strategies being shown into this. And I think that starting off with 2022, we're going to see a lot more Fracture than we would expect. And that's exactly what I think I would have wanted, anybody would have wanted to see to come out at least in pro play, because Fracture is honestly, as like you said, Crips, as much as people say that, you know, they've always got something to hate on the new map, but then it's just until the next one comes that Fracture is probably going to be seen that, okay, this is the villain for now. But then as soon as there's a new map coming in, it's going to be a Fracture like, oh, this is so much better than what just came in. Because, you know, every time there's the maps being introduced, it's actually kind of big, right?
Yeah,
Like,
every time
Science is-
Valorant brings something new, like when they added Icebox, for example, everyone was saying it has too many angles, but now it's one of everyone's favorite maps. And same with Fracture, this is so unique. I mean, we all know that there are similarities between Valorant and CSGO to some extent, but this is a fresh, off the grill, brand new map, which no other game ever, any FPS game has ever made a map like this. So Riot are really doing something unique, and hats off to them. Although I kind of want to see my hat being taken off to some amazing plays and some nice one-taps over here in the first round. Let's jump into the game, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go live. We have Team True Rippers on the defensive side and FS on attack. Paradox. Oh, what did I say? I was expecting some nice one-taps, and we got to see them already. B2 and Paradox trading frags towards a dish. Now, that's going to give them a little bit of information. But in a 4 versus 4, the situation does kind of favor the attackers, because if they can group up and hit a site together, they will overwhelm them in any situation that's 4 versus 2. The rotations might be a little late, but one tap god, he's already got things in the back. Cortez has been taken off, so that's 2 kills for True Rippers going into separate parts of the map. At this point, True Rippers have all the information they need.
Oh, Dominic, he did get taken down. Batman comes up with another. Okay, Batman.
I'm very surprised how he survived the second attack. Sure, he was able to get the first one on Breach, but then he turns around, wins a duel at 26 HP. Damn, that's amazing.
Well, it's a 1v2, and one tap god and Crosshair have pretty much the entire map under their control, because they are sitting in their own spawn, so they can go either left or right based on wherever they hear Batman coming in.
30 seconds left.
Batman's trying to play this one off a little bit cheekily. Goes across the ropes and back towards B he goes. That's the right decision for now, though. But for how long is he going to be able to live? Because he just has 26 HP, and one bullet to the chest, he's pretty much done and dusted.
Honestly, even if he just gets the spike down, I think that's going to be enough for him. It at least gives them a little bit more bonus money, so that when they go for the buy in the 3rd round, they will not have to compromise with half armor or lack of utility. He's most likely going to die, but hey, he did the best that he could in this situation. And even True Rippers did really well. In a situation like that, I admire the fact that they stayed together and played for trades instead of splitting up and looking for Batman, which could have very easily resulted in a Batman clutch.
Yep. Batman did get 2 kills, and I think that's pretty much good. A little bit extra, you know, money in the bank, but not too much. And that's gonna actually allow them. They force in. No, FS are not going to be forcing in. They are contemplating whether or not they should be buying extra pistols, and they might just go for some sheriffs and nothing more. That's about it.
Yeah,
now,
that's pretty much it.
Now, the one thing that I do want to consider is you've got a, you know, FS, who, by the way, are looking very defensively organized than their attack, right? They've got a KO, they've got a Chamber, they've got a Breach and an Astra. 4 defensive characters that at least I would think so. So do you think that they'll do better on defense than they might on attack? Because
I guess that's a question that we'll answer after 9 rounds. No, sorry, 11 rounds. My bad. My math is so terrible. But Paradox has his calculations correctly. Nicely taps away P2. Of course, Cortez does get the end of him. But it's still a 1v3, and the situation is undeniably difficult for Cortez. They're trying to peek him again and again, and True Rippers, they make short work of this round. But I like the fact that FS are experimenting. This time, instead of going directly towards A main, which they face problems because of the one-way smoke in the pistol rounds, they decided to take the doors instead. Now, how does this make things a bit easier? Relic's setup will have to be readjusted because of this. He's putting up his one-way on the A main region, and now he doesn't have anything to stop people from coming in from doors. The only thing that could probably delay them is maybe a snake bite or two, or maybe some rotations. This is going to force Relic to be a little more on his feet around on the ace side. He can't get too comfortable, and that's what FS Esports wants. And you're right. Even though this lineup is a bit skewed towards the defense, I think it works out well for them because the attackers do play passively in this map. They're waiting for True Rippers to peek and maybe aggress a bit. Even Cortez, he's moving towards A main, but look at how cautious he is. He's not overextending at all. It's Paradox times to overextend. And I don't think the breach will see him. Hello.
No, that is
another one.
Spike down.
That is really unfortunate. That's not supposed to happen. Why did Badman just walk away from there? This, that split-second timing, that's all it needed. And Paradox has found 3 and punished them massively. And he has the spike in his hands. He's got even his Viper to support him and Relic. Paradox wants the ace. He just knows. He's heard them drop down now. And all he needs is one headshot, but Bito's going to give him one in return. 2 versus 2. That knife is going to give away nothing.
No, it does. No? It does. Does it? Does it reveal Relic? No, it doesn't.
No,
that's big.
Hasn't.
That's big now.
30 seconds left.
I really thought Relic would get revealed. This fault line is so unnerving. It could have been perfect if the timing was there, and that could have easily resulted in Relic getting a kill or two, but now it's one tap, got trapped in a 1v2. Flashes are perfect, blinds both of them, but he unfortunately peeks a bit too wide, resulting in them both shooting him down.
That round was perfectly set up for True Rippers, but the only thing that Paradox should have probably done is stick his ground. He should have not gone for that, He should have waited for the fight to come to him. He went, give away a 1v1 that he could have potentially won, but also potentially lost, which he did. And even though he got 3 kills, and that round was a bonus, I'll give him that. They did get 3 weapons dropped, I'll give him that. But True Rippers could have won that and made it 3-0.
Yeah, a few mistakes by Paradox result in them getting into a 2v2, but I can't blame him because he's the man responsible for getting those opening frags in the first place.
Yeah.
So he's doing everything. Paradox once again. Look at this man. He's got so much money. He's got an op in the 4th round itself. He had his ultimate in the 3rd round. That tells you everything you need to know about his momentum. Man's feeling himself. His team also has enough money and weaponry, even after losing the previous round. Cortez, though, getting the opening frag. B-side now under assault. Crosshair on top. Does get one, but falls back to safety. But he's now on 5 HP, resulting in an easy takedown by him. Batman comes in, makes things a little bit easier, but Crosshair now forced to fall back. He doesn't have any backup in this region, so he's waiting for Paradox to make a move, and he has already made one. Spike plant can't happen just yet. These guys are on the side. They're trying to tap it, but there are so many positions that they need to clear first. Nice cheeky position by Dominic, using Paradox's Cloudburst against him. But Relic, he comes in all the way from A main, and that's the spike spotted. Crosshair jump peeking across the corner. Dominic has to fight 2 places at once. There's no way he's got 2 heads, and now he's got none on his shoulder. Instant comeback by True Rippers. And you know what the funny part is? With this round, they've basically crippled FS economy. They let them win a round and then immediately beat them in the next one. That's so damaging for anyone's economy.
Yeah, it most certainly is. And the one thing that True Rippers were doing really well is that letting Paradox be his maniac self, and the remaining players were playing on their, discipline that they always do. He was the one player, he's constantly moving in and out of his own smokes, even though he's holding an operator, and he knows that he could be taken out in close corners. They let him do it because Relic was on the backstab, and that's all they needed. And Cortez finding one with his ultimate.
That's
pulls
the
out
down for True Rippers.
Yep, and that's going to be one other op in the hands of the attackers. This is going to be a troubling problem for the side of True Rippers. Losing
Mind you,
Paradox.
this is a eco for FS,
Yeah.
and they've got the Chamber Ultimate, and they've got an op in Badman's hands. That's
Oh, but this
two
backstab.
ops with a bunch of sheriffs.
Yeah, but this backstab from Crosshair could mean everything, or it could be nothing at all, depending that the way FS have been playing. If they decide to go back, or if just Cortez decides to just teleport back towards in front of his counter chamber. Oh, he takes
He
it up.
can't.
Okay,
He can't.
now Crosshair knows. He knows they're definitely hitting the B side, A side. Forgive me, and this is exactly why he turns around, expecting somebody to come on the backstab and takes him out. Great presence of mind, and FS have probably done enough here, Crips.
They definitely have, and now they just need to deliver the final blow. And that blow
30 seconds
is
left.
obviously going to go towards the B side. Alliteration at its finest. Rotation from True Rippers is on its way though. So if they can maybe get a couple of kills here, this could be the end, but the Cosmic Divide protects them. Of course, a retake is possible, courtesy of the Rolling Thunder. But can they time it right? There you go, Earthquakes unleashed. A counter Rolling Thunder is available, but he does not use it just yet. One tap God has been instantly denied by that Chamber Ultimate, and that's just so great. A very clean run by FS, and they haven't even used their Rolling Thunder. They have it available for the next round. Dominic does die, but Relic is in a near unwinnable situation. I take my words back because he just killed 3. But he's got his Viper's Pit now, and this could mean that he can possibly deny it. Nah, not gonna happen. Badman with the Operator makes it work. He drops it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. 2 ops on the attacking side would have been a bit of a stretch anyway. So now they've all got their assault rifles, the Vandals and Phantoms.
Yep. And that's going to put the side of True Rippers in an eco, and that's something that they did not expect to happen previous round. And it was just a cascade of events falling down as soon as they gave, as soon as Paradox gave his life away. Unfortunately, Cortez was just a little too powerful with his Tour de Force, as you know, you would call it. I don't. Every time I look at that name, it's kind of confusing for me. I end up saying Tour de France just because I know the cycling event.
Yeah, and they're gonna cycle back to the A site now. Amazing flash, but somehow Paradox is still alive. But at least now they know that there's 2 players underneath the A site, so they can start crunching this one. The rotation from True Rippers is already in way, but nah, Badman, he's still holding like the anchor he is. He's carrying the spike backwards, and if Crosser was able to kill him right now, this could have been the round for True Rippers, but the spike is on their back, and so is the round. FS have cruise control.
They most certainly do. True Rippers. This round was something that they were not going to win, expect to win at least anyway. Maybe a couple of weapons should be dropped here. At least one. If one tap God just out of nowhere blast somebody's head through a smoke, no scoping them. Or we find a one-headed Sheriff headshot, not going to happen. V2 and Cortez will shut everything down. That is going to be a 3-3 scoreline. FS are not letting go of this fight whatsoever. And that's exactly what we would have expected from them. Now, there is one particular thing that I do want to address here, Clips, and that's that we see the function of operators on this map, right? We see that it is worked by the Jet, it is worked by the Chamber, but do you think that an operator is necessary on attack? Because sometimes I think that there are some corners where you would want an operator to be faced off on the attacking side. That's at least what I feel. What do you think? Do you think an operator would work better if it was on the attack?
I think it works in certain angles, and it depends on the comfort level of the players. Like this one, for example, Batman. I don't even blame him. He cleared that angle, went to check the next one, and then he just got timinged. So I don't even blame him. If this was an operator holding the same angle, it requires patience. B2 heading towards the B side, his teammates following up. They're crunching it from both the sides, so Master is kind of trapped over here. And now he's gonna get stunned in the face. Nothing that he can do.
Man.
Relic from the backlines is at least able to make the situation a bit manageable, making it easier for one tap God to move in. And somehow the defense is good. B2 now the last man standing. He was the one who was starting to attack the B side first. He put his Leers in already, but his teammates died the moment they tried to enter. He knows there's at least 2 players in this region, but does he know that Paradox is also holding around with an op? He doesn't even get to see him. One tap God deals with them all by himself. And this round was mostly made possible by Relic and One Tap God. Those two players got everything done over here. Relic, first of all, capitalizing on the lack of smokes that FS had. For some reason, the smokes didn't come in time. And Relic was able to kill the players coming in from B main. Later on, we had One Tap God move in, and he dealt with everyone coming from arcade, and that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yep,
Here.
indeed. And this is probably going to be an important round for both of these teams as the buy round has come in. Paradox!
Repeaks. Did you see the balls on this guy? He didn't land the shot the first time around, still goes around, gets the shot, and he dashes back to safety. That's the amount of bravery I want in my life.
Yeah, clearly Paradox has his own standards of play, own standards of aggression. One Tap God will get blinded off by the opponent breach, but he's got a flash for himself. Doesn't need it. Gets one head, goes for the other, but actually blinds himself. One Tap God. Unfortunate, my guy. B2, though, needs to be careful. He's got a player on his left. He expects it to swing the angle, but not going to be able to even connect a single bullet. Crosshair finds him. And in this 2 versus 4, FS are probably going to be giving up another round.
Now making a final Hail Mary play towards A main. Paradox ready to shut them down as he did towards Dish. Dominic does get one kill, but Paradox becoming a bit overconfident with the classic. Balls Dominic down to 30 HP. He's just one bullet away from death, but 30 seconds away
30
from a
seconds
potential round clutch. He
Well,
needs
he-
information before he can make a move. I mean, he's going for the plant, but he has no idea where the defenders will come in from.
Yeah, both of them are coming from 2 different angles, but that just might work out to his advantage. He could get 1v1s how he needs it, and one of them is going to be presenting itself in front of him. All he needs to do is look, but Relic, he found the better timing, and he takes him out. That's going to be number 5 for the side of True Rippers.
I really thought that Relic might die over there. He was using the snake bite just out in the open. I mean, of course, Relic had no idea that his enemy was right around the corner, but if
He
he,
knew that he
didn't pull
was
out
low,
his gun and...
that's-
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he could have died if he didn't pull out his gun in time. And
True.
luckily for Relic, the breach was at 30 HP, so there's not much that Dominic could have done anyway. But FS find themselves in these situations a bit too often now, don't you think? There was this 1v2 that Badman was facing. He had 26 HP. Now
Yeah.
Dominic was in a similar position. FS keep on finding themselves in these low HP 1v2 situations. And that's mostly because True Rippers play aggressively. Also,
Yeah, and-
while I say that, I have to also point out that the 3 rounds that FS was able to win was because they punished True Rippers' aggression.
Yeah, actually, and the one thing that, like you said, the aggression that's been working out for True Rippers is by one particular man. That's Paradox, but here we already see the race getting one as Master finds a great kill, but he will get traded off, so that's okay for now. 4 versus 4. True Rippers, I still believe, are in the advantageous position because Paradox, the X factor with the operator, still alive, and
Yeah.
the A side for now is completely uncontested. So there's a heavy stack on B.
Mm.
And whether or not FS know this is a question, because look at how they spread across the map, Crips. They're
So-
everywhere. Not a single presence in
Strike
Paradox.
down. Attacker spawn.
So on the A side, they have a retake setup. Like the Chamber has his alarm box
Really?
placed available on A main and the Dish side, and if something goes wrong, he's gonna teleport back towards the defender spawn. So they're letting the A side go. They're playing it for a retake, but now that they're getting all these kills, I don't think True Rippers even need to make a move. They can just chill out. 30 seconds left. It's most likely going to be a save from FS, but they're still trying to contest this. Okay, then
30 seconds
Paradox
left.
playing with fire over here. A bit too risky, but he pays the price for it. At least he's delayed them long enough. 20 seconds left on the clock, and they are just about to retrieve the spike. I don't think this round is going to be possible anymore unless they marathon sprint towards the A side and reach there in time. Dominic sprinting at full speed now. You can
10
see
seconds
from
left.
his movement that he wants to go around
Oh,
the other
he's
side,
been slowed
but
as
Crosshair
well.
knows.
There's no.
Oh!
One enemy remaining.
No way. They're not going to win this. All they need to do is stay alive.
One
And
enemy
Cortez?
remaining.
You can kill as many as you want. There's going to be one player alive in the end of this Relic. Now, I did not quite understand the approach of FS in that one. I get it that they wanted to play slow. They wanted to try and feel out how the water's been rippling around them and then play it. But after they lost players, one after the other, and they're losing them on different parts of the map, And it was ironic that the minute you said True Rippers don't need to make a move, that Paradox went ahead and gave his life. He fired 4
Yeah.
shots and did not hit any of them.
Yeah,
And
but
he
that's
wanted to be aggressive.
Paradox.
Yeah, that's Paradox.
Paradox. Like when True Rippers doesn't need to make a move, Paradox makes a move nonetheless. I don't
Yeah.
blame him. I mean, when you have so much advantage, you can at least afford to look down the B main corridor, see if they're coming that way.
Okay, Paradox. I mean, that's kind of him, I guess. That's quintessential Paradox.
Every time I see somebody lean back in their chair like that, I'm always
I am
afraid they're gonna fall down.
so scared. Yeah, I'm so scared. I'm like, number one, how does that chair not break?
No, I mean, you can get nice gaming chairs, but me being a fatty, I can never balance myself. If I lose control, I'm just gonna topple back. And yeah, he's back now.
Well, he's up in his gaming chair mode. We all know that's the greatest buff there is. The gaming chair buff is the best buff. There's no other way you can get around stuff. You have a gaming chair, you are the best player on the planet.
Maybe next season we can ask a gaming chair brand to collaborate with us.
And
come on board as one of the partners.
Yeah, I mean, we casters also need some gaming chair buffs, man. And, you know, I should get a gaming chair.
Cool. Though speaking of buffs, True Rippers have 4 ultimates available. FS have 3 of their own, but one of them is the Astral Divide, which can help them get into a site, and the other one is the Rolling Thunder. Both those abilities, when used together, can easily give them access to any site that they desire. And if they want to add some pizzazz on top of it, Cortez even has 2 of their force available.
To play? Let's play.
But then at the same time, one-tap God's Rolling Thunder will also make things difficult because the retake is possible. And they're heading straight into Reddick's Viper's Pit. They sprayed him down. 3 people fighting at the same time. A volley of bullets takes him down. Crosshair with the trade delays things a bit, but now it's going to be up to one-tap God to save his stunned teammates. And they're taking damage from the fragment grenade as well. There's no place left to stand on the site as the floor turns into lava and FS roll into it. Now there's only one thing that could potentially save True Rippers, and that's a Rolling Thunder from one-tap God. Here it comes. And as soon as they're stunned, the paint shell underneath the site can actually kill everyone as they stand. But the defense is amazing. Badman also getting a kill, and they're just holding on to this with both their hands, not letting go. Monster now doesn't even have his showstopper because he's suppressed. The moment he gets out of the smoke, Badman's waiting for him. True Rippers had everything they needed for that retake, and you know, for a second I was scared because the Rolling Thunder hit them in the face so well, and Master's paint shell was directly at their feet. I thought they can't move because they're stunned and the paint shell will kill them, but they survived just enough.
The last moment that we just saw from Master there, he tried to put the satchel down, but he just jumped because
because it's suppressed. That's pain. That's absolutely painful. Like, I'm just glad that he didn't pop the showstopper already, because that would have been a massive waste.
Yeah, well, True Rippers are on an eco, and we've got Crosshair with the 2 to force, and he wants to get a kill over here towards him. He's heard somebody. Amen. He's got flashes coming in from the drop above. Oh! Crosshair! Gets it!
Last player standing.
That's what happens when 2 to the force gets activated. Anyone who stands in your way will be forced down into their graves, and Paradox finishes things off with the classic fall weapons. The collateral followed by the 180-degree flick. That calls for a highlight moment.
Damn, what? I mean, him getting the collat was okay, but then that 3rd kill was brilliant. The flick of the wrist. Expects him to come up on the stairs, gets a beautiful shot, and one-tap God's right around the corner just to get the 4th kill and make this round easier.
Yeah.
True Rip it did not take them more than 10 seconds to finish off that round.
I swear. There was one cause of concern though. Never mind, I'm gonna speak about that cause of concern later, because now the only thing I'm concerned about is this rocket going to waste. Does Master check the other side? No, he doesn't, and the showstopper's been wasted. Either way, my point being, in the previous round, we saw one weird thing. Relic's Viper wall towards the A side actually covered Crosshair's position. So he wasn't able to peer down into the A main region. Of course, the round worked out for them nonetheless, but this defensive setup does not go well with the positions that they are taking. They have adjusted in this round. The Viper Ball has been moved towards the B side. Paradox peering down with that operator in the B main region. Doesn't spot anyone, but now Master has spotted players moving towards B from the arcade side. How does this work now? Because True Rippers are rotating already and they're splitting up, but they haven't gotten any confirmation yet. Relic's kill could be absolutely massive, but Crosshair doesn't get stunned, and he gets 2 frags because of that. Oh my god, that's absolutely criminal. You can't keep getting away with stuff like that. Now B2's trapped on this side. He's got the Empress to work with, but Relic is just so off position that B2 can never adjust to his body. Just so methodical by True Rippers. And so patient. I've never seen True Rippers be this patient. Surely they have evolved in 2022.
Out of charges.
Have the moments of, trying to be a little bit more disciplined, knowing that every time aggression is not the answer. And that's exactly why they've got an 8-4 scoreline. Even though that's happened, and Master's not really been having a great game. He's on 2-9. I really hope that he's going to be able to turn around his form on the attacking half, because this is where they thrive. This is where they live, and this is where they breathe and conquer. True Rippers on the attack is an always joy to watch. And now they are looking to move in towards the B side.
Crunching it from both the sides. 2 coming in from arcade, 3 coming in from B main. Unfortunately for them, there are 3 defenders on this B side, so attacking could be a bit difficult, but when Paradox is hitting shots like that, nothing is impossible. Badman with better shots of his own, defending this area like an absolute boss. But Dominic finally flushes out one tap god with an aftershock of all pieces of utility. One more could be potentially around the corner. He knows exactly where Relic is. They just need to find out where Master is hiding. And with that boombot, they might have just found out. The paint shells forcing them back, buying just a little bit more time, but this flash could be the end of all things. Master counter regresses, and he's just free firing on the rope, hoping that the sound cues help him connect. Relic's position, they don't know him. They just know he's suppressed, but they don't know exactly where he is. But the triple beacon, the chances of him surviving are astronomically low. He's still somehow trying to isolate those fights, holding the angles, ducking in and around cover. But that's all that she wrote for him. Amazing effort by True Rippers, but it's FS who overwhelmed them with superior numbers and utility.
Yeah, good effort by the side of True Rippers. But I think the most important, factor of FS winning that round was that 2K from Badman. He had to find at least 1 kill there, but he found 2, and he made it a little bit more easy on his team to try and come in for that retake when it was a 3v2. And when they did go for the plant, the one thing that they had was a flash, and they knew that somebody's going to be on top of, heavens. And that one flash was more than enough to throw them off, because both of them went up straight together, and that is all they needed to do. Teamwork. And FS now looking at a comeback.
And you saw that how the Breach almost used his flash in a different location.
No.
Paradox dashing to his death, and Kohli dancing over his grave. That cues the attack for the entry towards the A side. They're not finding anyone over here, which is very surprising. Relic going into the belly of the beast, straight up fighting Dominic in his defender spawn region. Not that's something I would have expected, but hey, this is just an eco round, so as long as they're able to get the spike plan, I think True Rippers will be happy with this.
Yeah, True Rippers have done pretty much what they wanted. They can get 1 kill onto the Breach in this because he's very low, but here comes a blind, and here comes Kohli jumping around with his Spectre. And he's going to have another ultimate off by diffusing. No, he's going to give it to his teammate. Dominic's going to get that one. They want the Rolling Thunder as soon as possible. And
it's so useful on the retake situations.
It's actually one of the best ultimates there is.
Yeah.
Right? And talking about ultimates, there is something I do want to ask you though, Cliffs, because this is something that I've noticed it's something that with Chamber and it's with Jet in particular. These 2 ultimates, and apart from Reyna's, are the only ultimates that actually require your aim to be used in the ultimate, right? And don't you think that being a Sentinel, Chamber should have actually had something a little bit more ability type ultimate instead of having an aim type ultimate, because he is supposed to be a defensive character?
Yeah, but then with the Jet getting nerfed so much, there needs to be a character that can be as effective and as mobile as the Jet. So that's probably why this character was released in the first place. And if you look at it, Chamber is the all-in-one agent, right? He's got 2 alarm bots, which is all he needs. That gives you the information that you want, and then you just base the rest of the round on your firepower. So I don't see anything wrong with this. Although, speaking of utility usage, I have to admire the way FS retook that round. First, you had the flash, which forced Paradox, who was holding on top of the A side stairs, to move a little to the right side. And the moment he did that, there's a concussion from the Astra. All of that being chained together left Paradox stunned and blinded. There's nothing that he could have done. I'm sorry, it wasn't Paradox. It was Crosshair, actually, who was holding that angle. I correct myself. So that was a bit painful to watch now, wasn't it? He deliberately positioned himself so that he wasn't vulnerable from drop. He only had to focus towards the defender entrance region, and he flashed from that angle. When he went to the other angle, he got stunned. That kind of stuff is what makes FS such a beautiful team to watch. And that's exactly why Badman is such a great IGL. Chaining utility together and coordinating with your teammates like that is incredibly hard. And if Badman is able to communicate so effectively, then I think we're going to see a lot more stuff from FS in the future. But here comes a very fast push from True Rippers on the other side. The moment they see the push from FS, they counter-initiate. They get into the A side already. And now it's going to be a nice wraparound from FS. They're going to have to go all the way around that bridge and come in from Dish. The first point of contact is going to be the breach, and one tap God, good for 2. More to follow as they are blinded, but B2, even with his eyes closed, he taps away at one tap God. Weapons upgraded, 3v2. Counter utility being thrown so that a little bit time can be wasted. Of course, they won't push through the snake bite. Another one. They're just boiling away at the clock now. Do FS actually make a play for this, or are they going to go for a save? There's not enough time, and if something needs to be done, it needs to be done now. I guess they're just going to go for the exit frags. Yeah, that's probably all she wrote for them.
I mean, there obviously was no evident time available for them to go ahead and to try to stick that defuse, because they had players on 2 different ends who were going to give them a little trouble. So exit frags is all they could hope for, and that's what they got. A little bit damage done to the economy of True Rippers, but not as much that they cannot afford to buy in again. You can see
they're still in this.
Yeah, they've pretty much got money for every single weapon that they need, except for just one person, one tap God. He will be playing on half armor, but he's playing from the back line, so he's going to be okay.
Yeah, and he's got the Rolling Thunder available. Relic is 1 point away from his Vital Spin. Those are 2 massive ultimates. If Relic can get an opening kill right here, right now, that's going to be the Viper Spit available for post-plant. And of course, one tap God can obliterate the site and blow it open. They spotted out 2 players doing A main. Hopefully they can use that information. They conveyed that information to Paradox, but he wasn't able to get there in time. And now it's one tap God blowing things over. They need to make sure that they cover the defender entrance, because that's the only place the Rolling Thunder doesn't hit. One tap God still able to make things work on just the basis of his firepower. The aftershock stuns everyone from the other side, forcing them to disengage from the angle. It buys enough space for True Rippers to move in, but it's still a 2v2 with more than a minute left on the clock. This is going to be a very long and drawn-out round.
Yeah, it most certainly is. There goes the plant, and now with this post-plant situation, both the players of FS are towards the sands, and now they're moving in closer. Don't know whether True Rippers know this or not, but one tap God in that stairs position is going to be the most important player for them. He's going to be trying to be pulled out over here by Batman. There comes the flash, and Batman's completely blinded, dismantled, and has no idea what's happening, but Dominic will clutch it out. Brace down both of the players, up and down. And he's going to confirm round number 7. FS find a round in the most desperate situation. Even have the operator saved up, which honestly looked like a round that True Rippers could have gotten away with pretty easily.
Yeah, it did feel like True Rippers had this in the bag. It's a good thing that they killed Relic right at the beginning, because that Viper's Bird could have been so annoying to deal with. And even though One Tap God used his Rolling Thunder, it did not clear out the defender spawn entrance. So that's why he had to come with the Aftershock over there. The smokes were a bit late, which resulted in the loss of another player for True Rippers. Otherwise, this potentially could have been a 3v2 in their favor. Either way, I love the way how Batman used his gravity well. He made
You
the
want to
player
play?
upstairs
Let's
vulnerable,
play.
which allowed Dominic to finish off what Batman started. Now True Rippers putting all their eggs towards B. 4 players on B main, 1 from Arcade. How are they going to make this work? There's 3 defenders over here. Of course, that's how they're going to make it work. With the tour of their force. Crosshair already opening things. And Paradox, what on earth did you just do? Did you just 180 flick onto Batman? That's a disgusting shot. Get out of there. Oof, that's a juicy one tap. And now FS, they're struggling to hold on to the B side. It's just Dominic left over here, and there's so many people heading in his direction. Backup is arriving, and Kohli with the overloaded backup grids, he's going to be taken care of by one tap. God, Dominic has to use the Rolling Thunder. He's been forced. There's no other way he can defend this region.
No.
But even after all of that, one tap God breached him. It's just B2 left.
Enemy remaining.
Nothing else that he can do, but Arena, in a clutch situation, can make wonders happen. He knows the position of at least 2 of their players, knows that there's an AWP available onto one tap God, and he's most likely going to be playing towards Arcade. He knows where Relic is as well. He only needs to find out where Master is. Up or down. That's what you want. 1v2 now. They both can double peek from the Heavens region, but if one tap God did not figure out where B2 was, if it's still gonna result in a bit of an uncanny situation for FS. 1v1's isolated. They're providing it to him, but he doesn't turn around. That could have been dangerous. Came down to fire.
He expects him to be towards B main, but that was not going to be the case. He has a Spectre, so Relic would obviously play somewhere close by. Or maybe
Even the previous setup was good from FS, right? I mean, you had one player watching Heavens and another one in the side itself watching B main, so they covered everything. That's a double peek also enabled right there. Not gonna lie, I was a bit scared. I thought B2 might be able to clutch.
The one thing that, about that setup, even though there's one player on Heaven and one player on side, is that it's actually a little too close for comfort, but because that gives away True Rippers a lot of ground control, right? And True Rippers thrive on that. They love taking map control. They love being in your face. And sometimes, like the one that happened last time, that setup, it doesn't really work out towards the end. This time, though, True Rippers, they're going to have the advantage yet again as they want to shut this one off. It is an eco for the side of FS, so number 11 looks inevitable.
Spike planted.
Watching double digits. True Rippers on the verge of reaching 11. But maybe these eco rounds can be a bit difficult as Batman is making things so sweaty.
One enemy remaining.
Crosshair holding the closer angle. Dominic gets a Phantom in his hands, but he's only got very little HP. And Relic needs a single bullet to kill him. That footstep gives away his position. Relic pre-fires. Well, it was an eco round, so 4 kills by FS is still an impressive achievement. Although, they might need to step up their game because True Rippers might be running away with this map if things start to go in their favor now. FS finally have the money that they need. And they also have the read on True Rippers to some extent. The only difference is by the time the rotation from FS arrives, True Rippers are just in the side already. They're playing it really, really rapidly.
Yeah, they don't
True
all
Rippers,
for nothing.
yeah, if True Rippers keep up this pace, I think they can get to 12. The moment they try to slow down is when FS get a bit comfortable, and they don't want that to happen. Cortez stunned. I'm so nervous about this one. He's got Dominic over here protecting him as a bodyguard, and he doesn't land the shot. Dominic does. That's Paradox taken out, and it's still a man advantage. The Rolling Thunder won't do much. They can fall back from this position. The Aftershock to delay the push a little bit, but Relic pushes right through it after taking a bit of damage. But he's isolated on the site now. Oh, here comes the showstopper. Big moves from Master. Viper Spin also activated towards the site. So this retake looks very, very difficult. But the HP advantage still lies with FS. So it's not all lost.
Well, might not be all lost, but it could go in just a bit. Master needs just 1 kill here, and he will find it, and he's done the impactful thing that he needed to. Crosshair will go down. Batman with 2 is making things harder. One tap God will hit back 2 versus 2, getting a lot more intense here. Relic is being supported by the Aftershock. Batman will go down, and it's a 1v2. Kohli to save it all for his team It's do or die, and it is die. Two
Firing squad.
rippers.
Shooting through the smoke, spamming left, right, center. They know he's coming in from the heaven region, so no way that he's gonna avoid the bullets while he tries to move towards the green boxes.
Indeed.
Amazing round from True Rippers. It was a very risky round, mind you. Relic had to tank the aftershock damage in order to get into the site, but it was crucial that he got inside over there because the timing window that True Rippers capitalized on, the moment Paradox went down, they realized that Dominic has no choice but to fall back. And they knew that for a brief period of 3 or 4 seconds, the site will be empty. That's when Relic needs to go in and put up the Viper's cage. Oh, wow. Crosshair just popping off this game. He's having a great day. 18 frags for this man, but he might just get bamboozled by B2, who's coming around from the other side. He missed the first shot. That's his chance. Gets away, but he has only 50 HP left. At least he balls Master down to 46 HP, but at what cost? It's just down to Batman and Dominic. They both have their ultimates. So this could be a potential round for FS, but it has to be the round. Otherwise, True Rippers are just going to run away with the map. They're planting out in the open. This spike can be defended from A main, from the door region, from the defender spawn. Anything is possible.
Yeah, it is. And Batman dropping dead is probably going to confirm this win for the side of True Rippers. One ultimate to move it all up. Dominic, let's see what you got. He stuns a couple of them, but he's going to get stunned himself. And to go down with the grenade of Master
Attackers
is
win.
cherry on top of the cake as True Rippers find themselves fracture pretty convincingly, 13-7. What a game of Valorant this has been from these guys. Honestly, it's kind of interesting to know that True Rippers are the ones who actually chose to go with Fracture, and they've made it their home map, and they're constantly succeeding in it, because a lot of teams should take this into consideration, because I've seen multiple times of Fracture has been banned against the side of True Rippers, and them getting to openly choose it against FS. I think this is kind of a thing that happened in the drafting process itself, in the map veto process itself, where it could have been avoided. I think that if they would have banned off Fracture against True Rippers, maybe this could have gone another way, the story.
Hey man, I'm still very impressed with the way FS played a map like Fracture. They're not comfortable with this map, clearly. FS never even played this map in the previous season. And now, with a roster change, they are playing a map which they're uncomfortable with. There's too many things that they are not familiar with. So it was bound to happen. But still, I love the way how FS used their utility to retake the sites whenever they went in for it. They were also using the breach utility so impactfully to delay the push from True
Indeed.
Rippers. Even though they lose this map, at least they walked away with a great amount of knowledge. And they know for a fact that their setup and the utility works. Because Badman was chaining his utility along with the breach so beautifully. And
Yeah.
we saw some glimpses of brilliance. Let's take a look at the highlights, and I'll point out those, the glimpses of brilliance moments when they come up. So we start off with True Rippers getting 2 rounds in a row. A little aggression from Paradox in the 3rd round does result in the loss, but then again, Paradox was able to get 3 kills in this round, which was amazing. So after they let FS win the buy round, True Rippers win the round immediately after it, and that cripples FS economy, which gives True Rippers the boost that they need to take the lead in the first half. FS now, they're desperately playing catch up.
Yeah, it was just it kind of looked like the side of FS were just replicating whatever they could to see True Rippers doing, because, like you said, they've probably not played this match before, right? They haven't done something that's working for them as great as possible in terms of what they would expect it to be like. Okay, Fracture's a new map. We've not played this before. So let's just see how our opponent plays and then go along the flow with it. Because, like you said, we could see that they were visually, in discomfort of this map. There
Yeah.
were, like you said, the glimpses of brilliance were in moments like these, where they made comebacks happen, where they found rounds for themselves, and they
Yeah.
ended up it being an 8-4 half, which I think is, I'm just gonna say not too bad, but it wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't good either, right? I would
Hey,
have I ideally wanted a 7-5. I think even that's what they would have wanted, but
Yeah, of course. But then, I mean, you have to consider how good Crosshair was in this position, right? And on the A side, this man is an absolute beast. How does he survive for this long? I have no idea. Like, you remember that one round where he activated the to the force, got the collat, turned around 180 degrees, and then got that kill as well? That round,
Oh
and then
yeah.
this one where he got the double standing on top of the little bin just outside of A main so that the headshot angle gets missed every time someone peeks around. That also was brilliant. But then FS on the defense. Oh boy. They might not have been able to get a couple of rounds. They might not have been able to get a lot of rounds, but the rounds that they did win were so goddamn beautiful. Like this one, for example, Badman sucks out one tap god from above, makes him vulnerable in the process, and then a couple of bullets are enough to kill him. And then, of course, Dominic was able to finish the clutch because one tap god was vulnerable. If he wasn't, it probably could have been yet another True Rippers round. And then in the next one, B2 almost got this clutch. It was a 1v3, boiled it down to a 1v1. So beautifully played by B2. And he's isolating these frags also really well, kind of forcing True Rippers to throw away the advantage to some extent. A lot of these rounds came down to 1v1s and 2v2s. So while the scoreline says 12-8, you got to consider this. FS have had a roster change. This is not their home turf map. And all these rounds came down to very, very close score lines. It was a 13-7 in the end. So I think this is not at all a reason for FS to bow down in shame. They can still hold their head up high. And I think Ascent is going to be extremely competitive given how good FS is looking. The utility usage was perfect. True Rippers had to make some desperate moves to win the last couple of rounds. Like Relic, for example, had to tank aftershock damage in order to activate that Viper's Pit. If he wasn't able to do that, then of course FS would have been able to win that round. So
Yeah.
kudos to True Rippers for winning the game, but also hats off to FS Esports for putting up such a damn good fight. The scoreline 13-7 does not do justice to how well FS Esports performed today.
Yeah, that is true. I think that FS Esports did do a pretty good job, but when you look at the scoreboard, you can see that there is a team effort. Everybody performed for the side of FS, right? But they were not impact frags because even though you see 16, 15, 13, 13, 13, you would say that at least, okay, if the score lines are in terms of kills are this close, it should have been a 13-10 at least.
Yeah.
But it was about impact frags. And even though you can see that Master on the other side did have 9. And until I think about the 16th, forgive me, around the 16th round.
Yeah, he was sitting at like 2 frags.
Yeah, he was sitting at 3 or 4 frags. Yeah. And he just, in the last couple of rounds, he found the impact frags that he needed for his team. He found the final kill of a grenade. In the last 2 rounds, he found, I think, about 4 kills. So it's all about the impact that you cause. And of course, Crosshair, Relic, One Tap God, and Paradox, everybody had a great game today, especially Crosshair. I think he did an outstanding job with the chamber. And yeah, it's True Rippers. It's the True Rippers show all over. Now, whether or not that's going to be reversed on the map of Ascent is something for FS Esports to say. They are the ones who've chosen that map. They are the ones who've gone for the ground zero map here. Whether or not they're going to win that is of question, because for now, True Rippers seem like they're completely on cloud 9. Momentum is on their feet and they are just riding with the waves. There's nothing stopping them. But we will find out in just a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen, whether or not FS Esports can take us to the third map of Icebox, or are we going to see a 2-0 victory? You are watching Tec Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial and Apparel Partner 6x6. We'll be back in just a few. Don't go anywhere.
the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hey guys, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents Tec Gauntlet Season 4 once again. Powered by Crucial and our apparel partner is 6x6. Really cool, amazing jerseys. Go check them out and you can even support your favorite team with this. Either way, we are a map underway. True Rippers was able to win their pick. Fracture. Now we're heading into Ascent, a map which is picked up by FS Esports. But let's be honest, Ascent is loyal to no one.
Yeah, Ascent is kind of the map that anybody can take at any time. It's not that the team with it. It also rests on momentum. I would say that momentum is one thing that Ascent kind of works upon. But then we've seen teams turn down 10-2 score lines, 9-3 score lines, 8-4 score lines towards their against their favor. So you never know how it could fare out for the side of FS Esports, who have picked up map of Ascent. So let's find out whether or not they're going to be able to make this comeback happen and take us to the map of Icebox, which I would love seeing personally, because I think that watching these two teams on Icebox is something that we will not get to see often. Fracture itself was a rare occurrence, more one in a million occurrence that usually comes into the pro matches of the SA region. But having to see these two teams play on Icebox would be something I would want, but that solely lies on FS Esports winning this map. Now, the one thing that we do know about Ascent, Crips, is that it's kind of literally one composition. We thrive on one composition on this, unless there's maybe one small change that goes back and forth. But it's usually, the Sova Sky or the Sova Breach, if the Breach is being played. We have a Jet, we have a Killjoy, and we have the controller. So do you think that there might be a change? Do you think, because we've seen recently that sometimes True Rippers have actually picked up Raze even on this map. So what do you think? What do you reckon? Do you think that there should be a double duelist or double initiator?
Honestly, the Jet and the Rays are interchangeable agents. Both of them are mobility based agents. So, yeah, you can do similar stuff with them in terms of duelists. They play out also very similarly. The only difference is that the Jet has the smoke and the Rays has the damaging utility. That's pretty much it. But I think the question over here, which I think is going to be more important, is not whether it's a double duelist or a double initiator. I think there also might be a chamber that comes in instead of something like a Killjoy or maybe like a Cypher. And Chamber is one of those characters that you can fit in easily into a map like Ascent. You don't have to sweat too much in order to figure out their setups. They are mostly self explanatory. So let's see if Killjoys and Cyphers are still going to be relevant in this map or not. And considering that Ascent is a map where everyone is a lot more comfortable hopping because of the sheer size of it, the Chamber could be very well a viable pick. But FS Esports are not believers of any of that. They pick up the double duelist, the Jet and Reyna, your standard Sova, Killjoy, Astra. So nothing out of the ordinary for them.
Yeah.
Maybe True Rippers have something. Will
I mean,
Crosshair go for the Chamber again?
no, I don't think he's probably going to go for it. Like I said, they pick up the race multiple times. Or he could be going in for the Sova. Okay, double initiator with Crosshair on it. Could be an interesting pick here. The breach is what's interesting me. I love watching the
Yeah.
breach in action every
Yeah.
single map. I've been playing a lot of breach recently, and I've been enjoying being the big bully. So
Breach main in the house.
I mean, sort of, but there it is. We've got the Sova locked in. Everybody else is still holding on. One tap God could choose to go up for that raise if he wants to, but it's all on to what he decides to do in the
Select
last
your
moment. We've
agent.
got the last couple of seconds left until the agents have been locked in, but it looks like they are going to be settling in for the breach pick itself. And with that, we have got a double initiator against a double duelist setup. Now, how is this going to be affecting them? How is it going to be helping the team with the double initiator? How is it going to be helping with the team with the double duelist is a question, because the Reyna is an agent that on Ascent, as self-sufficient as she is, I would actually prefer the race just because of her utility.
Yeah, the narrow corridors do make for kill boxes whenever Raze is there in play. I'm a bit sad that there's no chamber pick, but hey, One Tap God had been having an amazing game in Fracture when he was on the breach, so he's gonna look to continue that momentum in Ascent as well. Of course, for a player like One Tap God, Ascent is a lot more simpler than Fracture. The setups are also very obvious, so I don't think he's gonna be struggling, but neither are gonna be FS. I mean, they're also gonna be damn comfortable. You have to consider this. I mean,
Here.
not only do they have a new lineup which
Careful.
they are not used to yet, they were also playing a map which they're not familiar with. And even with everything going against them, they were able to put up a damn good fight against Two Rippers on their own home turf, a map that they are comfortable on. I think Ascent is gonna be one roller coaster ride, and FS might just be able to win this one. They start off with going towards the ace side. The only person who's away from this region is Badman, and he's placing his delivery just outside of P. So Badman is back to his standard Killjoy, his comfort character. And he's holding B, making noises while his teammates start to attack the ace side. Two Rippers can't do anything about it. They have to give up. They must play for the retake. Unless they can kill the spike carrier. They kill B2, but the spike still makes its way into the side. So in a 4v4 retake, the odds are dead even.
It's there, but here's True Rippers coming into the side. The plant hasn't gone down yet.
Yeah, that's what's concerning me. I mean, they can't even plant right now because Batman can potentially come in and disrupt the plant. It was up to One Tap God to stop that from happening, and he did that. He bought enough time, but now FS are gonna start flooding into the site, and they don't even let True Rippers in. They're moving at the entrance points, and they're stopping True Rippers from entering before anything can even happen. FS just moving into the site and then moving beyond their own defensive positions. They actively take the fight towards Two Rippers and stop them from even setting foot in the site.
Indeed. That was actually pretty great from the side of FS. They knew that there is a Killjoy turret on the on those boxes on the right? And they immediately smoked it off as well so that they didn't have to deal with it. They didn't have to waste bullets on it either. They could directly go in and take the fights against the players on the site. Cleared it up, took down all the utility possible, took out 2 players, and then they went ahead for the plant. Could have been a little bit scary, could have been a little different, but well, it worked out for them, and now they've got Spectres across the board with 1 Vandal as well. So, looking good to go.
Take flight. Enemy mark.
They are getting a little closer to the site here. Should be an easy... Okay, that shot does go a little awry, but FS are still in lead. Kohli finds one with the shock dart. And Kohli with another. Dominic follows it up. FS are just absolutely shredding through the side of True Rippers as expected. With that, we've got 2-0 and FS in the lead, and that's a good sign for them because that's kind of what they need in their map. But now's where the real game begins. Now is the first buy round, and yeah, what we saw happen in that eco was something that we will not talk about.
Yeah, it's just so funny. I mean, even True Rippers are laughing about this in chat. These guys were just typing HA, just running through the tree door and getting mowed down by the barrage of specters over there on the other side. But Paradox? Whoa. He's got all the way down towards high mid. Batman didn't spot him. He's gonna see the spike. Paradox is about to witness the spike, and he can backstab everybody. Gets B2 through the boxes, and that's the round
Player
crumbling
standing.
right there. True Rippers bring it back in style, baby. There's nothing that Dominic can do right now. He doesn't have the weapon, doesn't have the spike. He can only pray and spray with that Spectre, hoping to upgrade a weapon. But Paradox, my man, just threaded the needles.
The way he just, got past Batman, the timing was
So
brilliant. And
quickly?
yeah, like he did not care. He just somehow knew. This man's aggression is honestly of another level. He literally does not care.
I know, and FS never saw it coming. Who on hell will expect a backstab 15 seconds into the round, bro? That's just not gonna happen. Nobody sees this coming. And he just casually strolls up mid. It's not like he had too much going on. The Sova utility towards B main made sure that he doesn't have to worry about the crossing. He knows nobody's gonna be there towards high mid. Just press shift and W. I mean, I know that there's a lot more to it than just simply moving and walking in, but he made it look so simple. Come on.
Yeah. But Paradox this time around has unfortunately disconnected mid-game. He is not available for the sound. That might just be a problem. True Rippers playing a 4v5 this round. Valek getting spammed upon without even having seen a single opponent. He's down to 50 HP. And there's Batman being spotted. Tagged down as well. Crosshead. Oh. No, you might want to save it, my friend. Yeah, that's a good choice. Keep it
I
for a
really
better
thought he
time.
would spam him down or something through the wall.
I mean, with the Vandal.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult, but yeah, you can't afford a node in every round, so you gotta make do with what you have. 4 versus 5 practically for True Rippers because Paradox is having some technical issues, and the reason why we can't pause the round right now is because damage has already been dealt. You can only pause the round before that. Now True Rippers are just gonna have to take the L and make do with what they have. They have 2 people defending the B side. One tap god with the flashes, able to get one, maybe even spray transfer to the second one, but the shock darts are doing enough damage. Now Cortez just needs to line them up, and he cannot. Dominic runs him by. And Cortez now has to go in for a position where he can easily defend this region. Master can't even do much. Best that he can do is keep Paradox alive, be his bodyguard so that they can carry forward 2 guns into the next round.
Yeah, that's actually the best thing they can do, but Paradox has to be back by then. Hopefully he is.
No, I mean, then we can always pause, but the reason I couldn't pause is because damage has already been dealt and you can't pause that after.
Powers out.
Master with 1 could be looking for more. He's got now 3 players converging. Now with that, it's pretty much done and dusted. They will move towards the spawn. They will find Paradox and they will kill Dominic with his 4th. And that's going to be FS with number 3 on the board.
I'm glad that we were looking at Dominic from Cortez's POV. You know, because Dominic checked the angle, he looked away, and then he was like, wait, hold on. What's that? That's a Jet just standing right there. So it was a little bit of a cartoonish moment, you know, when you see something, you look away, and then you look back at them, and they're like, what? What did I just see?
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, Paradox has disconnected, and we are going to be waiting for him. His technical issues are because of his internet. He's going to be coming back as soon as he can, but until then, we're just going to have to wait. And FS, well, I really hope that their momentum does not go off the rails just because of this pause, because Multiple times it's happened.
True Rippers, you can see them, sitting back to back against each other. That's nice, having a boot camp. True Rippers had this one boot camp in Bangalore, but I'm not really sure if that's still active anymore or if they're back to their own houses because of the pandemic. But I'm assuming Paradox is away from his teammates because, if there was an internet issue, everyone would have it, right? Paradox alone having it means he's probably at his own residence. FS, on the other hand, I wonder when these guys will move into a boot camp of their own, if they will at all. Of course, the pandemic does make it a bit difficult for everyone to boot camp together. Even the top teams are not able to do it right now. So,
Yeah.
It's a bad time overall. It's 2022 and we still have internet issues in the country. That just tells you everything you need to know about the infrastructure.
Yeah, at some point there is going to be a fix. Hopefully it comes as soon as possible. But right now, Paradox needs a quick fix to his issues, which will hopefully come as soon as possible. But
speaking of fixing things, FS have been doing one thing really well. They attack the sides and they just completely leave mid. They don't even bother with it. 4 rounds into the game, FS won 3 of them, and all of them have been just on the basis of attacking the site without using mid at all. Like, even when they attack the A side, there's just been 1 round where they sent a player down tree, and that is it. Every time else, they've hit it with A main and nothing else. They've hit B with B main and nothing else. They never combine it with mid. And the only round that True Rippers was able to win was the one where Paradox backstabbed them from high mid 15 seconds into the round. Now that that guy is gone, True Rippers have to wait a bit. Either way, Paradox is probably returning. He's playing from a mobile hotspot. I do not like the sound of that, but hey, you gotta make do with what you have now.
Well, the things you gotta do for being a pro player.
I know. The worst thing that can happen to you is have your internet get cut off in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
I feel the pain, bro.
The amount of times I've had that during my ranked games, and then I've had people report me because of that. I've had the cooldowns that come in. I had a 7-day cooldown thrice at a very bad time where my internet was just well. Let's just say that the internet would have probably worked better in the Battle of Panipat than it did at my place, and they didn't even have internet back then.
Yeah, I have to spend $5,000 extra every month just to get a secondary internet connection. Completely unnecessary, by the way, but I have to do it because that's just what's required of us. Either way, FS Esports win condition has been set in stone. They know that they can make do with their approaches to its A main, B main without any trouble, at least for now. They do need to be careful about True Rippers' aggression from mid, though. And now that True Rippers have all their players back, aggression is unmistakably inevitable. Little aggression to its A main was seen from Paradox on the back of Funtap God's flash. This time a fault line, and he doesn't clear Cortez's angle. Maybe good for 2, but Funtap God with the Sheriff still makes good on that duo. B2 clearing up mid. This is the first time FS Esports are hitting mid. They haven't done this before. And they don't check all the angles. It could have been punished if Crosshair was a bit more accurate, but Master makes up for the lack of that. And it's still a good eco round from True Rippers. You can see the chinks in FS armor, right? So many of these positions went unchecked. If this was a buy round, True Rippers would have easily punished that.
So, be careful. You've got a better weapon to fight with.
Planted.
Might want to take it with that. 3 versus 2. And both the players of True Rippers actually have weapons. So this is a doable retake round for them.
Yeah.
They've even got armor. And
They've
they even
got
have a
lockdown.
killjoy. Yeah, exactly. So this is going to be a really, really important round if True Rippers win this. And as I say that, Dominic just absolutely randomly sprays down his opponent, and B2 comes up from the other side of the site to take down Master. How the hell did Dominic get that kill?
For Dominic, it's a bit easy, right? He can just pre-fire towards the market entrance. It's a narrow door. someone will take damage when you go through it. But it's nearly impossible to counter spam that area because on the other side, you can be anywhere. So that's a bit of an advantage that the attackers have when they're defending this site. One person can always just keep spamming the market door, and if you get lucky, well, then there you have it, a free frag for you. But FS Esports, regardless of the round win, they are not invincible. We saw a few gaps that Turipus can exploit. Paradox brave enough to stay there, not dashing away. Gets punished by Cortez, and that's a jet diff in the process. Crosshair also steps off the curb the moment B2 peaks, so he's going to be inaccurate even if he had his crosshair on the head. And there's a counter push from True Rippers towards B main. Dominic to hold, ready to intercept, and intercept he does! Master finally deals with him, but now both the players of True Rippers have no trading potential. They're away from each other. The only good thing that comes out of this round is that one-tap God doesn't need to clear the B main region, but can he clear the close angles? The Aftershock does not deal with the Astra's position, so he still needs to clear it. He gets 2 frags in a row, but Kohli finally shuts him down. He knows exactly where Kohli is. More to follow, but Cortez sets himself up for an easy cheeky kill. And FS at 5. The way things are going, I think we are most likely going to see Icebox.
Yeah, we might just see Icebox.
This is so unfortunate. Like, you can see how he tried to clear the close angle with the Aftershock, but Cortez was just unaffected.
Yeah.
And what's even worse is that Cortez is not the one who kills one-tap God. It's Kohli who does that. So, later on, when Master walks in, he has absolutely no idea about Cortez's position.
Yeah, indeed. And with that, the side of True Rippers are at a really difficult spot right now in this game. Having to play 4 rounds down and probably 5, given that this round is an eco for them. Paradox almost took damage from that shock dart, gets away safely, but is not going to be in any bit of a comfortable position just yet.
Yeah. There is one thing though for True Rippers. Now, they don't have the weapons, but they do have the Lockdown and the Rolling Thunder. The moment I say that, the Rolling Thunder is the only thing that's left. Lockdown taken out by the opposing Killjoy. And it's just cleanup.
Are you joking? Are you joking? And he still didn't get that.
He's just not joking. He's just jumping around, bro. He's channeling his inner kangaroo.
Oh, man. I think he took the, the concept of bunny hop too seriously.
Yeah.
I've always wondered how much triple burst jumping would be too much. Like, until what point could you keep doing it to annoy your opponent?
I mean, it was so much more effective when the Classic was still in its prime, right? Now that it's been nerfed, it's become a bit harder to do that. But yeah, back then, that's the
I
sort
still
piece way
get
to kill an
hit. I still
opponent.
get hit with a triple Classic burst jumping through the smoke.
I
It
feel
doesn't
that,
matter,
bro.
man.
I feel that. But FS Esports, now they're about to make True Rippers feel the wrath of this execute. Paradox forced to hold a wider angle, and he walks into Kohli's shock dart. That's the operator dealt with. But bro, there's so many ultimates available. Look at True Rippers, 4 of them. I mean, they have the Lockdown plus the Astral Divide combination, which is the perfect for retake. They also have the Rolling Thunder, which is amazing. And then the Hunter's Fury can even stop the plant from going down in the first place. I want to see if they use any one of their ultimates this round. Yep, they do. They use the Hunter's Fury to deny the plant, but the plant is going to go down nonetheless. Maybe a kill or 2? Nah, just a tag. At least True Rippers have the HP advantage now. They still got the lockdown available, which means a retake is possible. But will they commit this one? Or will they commit the Rolling Thunder instead? Maybe they commit both. Let's see what happens, as we are about to see the retake go in. And oh my god, so much being dumped. There's a counter of Hunter's Fury to deal with the lockdown, but the Rolling Thunder still makes them a bit vulnerable. And FS Esports defending the ground like absolute chads. True Rippers now. This Cloud Burst actually works against FS, but Kohli still finds a frag through the smoke. One tap got desperate to blind them. The half defuse is there, but he can't get it done. Such painful round for True Rippers. They committed everything they had, but nothing came out of it. And for a second, I really thought this Cloudburst will work against FS, but Kohli has his lineups down to the T.
That was actually pretty great.
Yeah.
That cloud burst actually enabled them to
Yeah.
find the second player completely confused, because they would think, why the hell is he putting a smoke down there? And
Exactly,
then
right?
both of them come behind it. They spray down because they've got a ping to mark the bomb because it's out in the open.
Yeah.
Perfectly played.
Exactly. A rare situation where a smoke like that actually helps the attackers instead of inhibiting them. Two Rippers, they move all the way up mid, don't spot anyone, and after doing all of that, they are now positioned in tree. They know for a fact that FS are in the A side, but what are they gonna do about it?
Planted.
Well, Relic has found two actually. As Dominic takes down the
Nice.
penultimate player. That's 2 weapons dropped, that's a good thing. As Relic looking for more is not going to be able to find it. It's simple round, but True Rippers might have just done a little bit damage that I don't think it's going to affect FS.
It's
man. I
not.
don't think it's
Nah,
not gonna
FS
touch
still have
them.
$9,000 on almost every player. The only person who's like slightly low on money is Batman, and he also has like 3,500 credits to spare. So FS have money for days. I mean, we are 9 rounds in the half, only 3 rounds left. FS is gonna have money for the entirety of this half. It's True Rippers, on the other hand, who are struggling to muster a buy together. They're saving up pennies, and they've invested everything they had into this round. If they don't win it, then they're gonna have nothing but pennies and pocket lint. Oh! How did that miss?
Where
I
did
thought
the
he had
bullet
it.
go? That's not supposed to be possible, right? The bullet did not go between 3 players, but one tap got okay. Aggressive, really aggressive, punished for it. FS find their way by being a little patient. I don't know why one tap god ran all the way down towards mid all by his lonesome. What?
Yeah,
was
without
he
backup.
thinking? What was he thinking?
I don't know, man. I really thought that he will be able to get at least 1 kill with that flash, but nothing. And then even he accepted his fate. He didn't even try to fall back. He knew he's a dead man. Lockdown committed. Don't tell me that someone walks out of that smoke and then B2 gets a free kill. Master has no idea about B2's position. If he comes in late, this could be the perfect lurk. The lockdown clears up the site. Easy entry on the side of FS. And anyone who tries to come through will be dealt with. Paradox and Master both get taken down as they try to lurk outside of that Cosmic Divide. But B2's lurk has been dealt with, so that's something going in the favor. Kohli's already inside market. No way Relic would have expected that.
Yeah.
Kosa has no choice but to save the op. I don't even think they let him. Look at the way they're just toying around with him. I think they're on the hunt.
Yeah, they are. They're pushing in from every direction.
And FS can afford to lose weapons while trying to hunt Crosshair down. They've got money. They just don't want this op to be carried forward in the next round. And like I said, True Rippers, now they're broke.
Oh man, how does this go from having to deal with the team that has been pushing you so heavy and hard on the map of Fracture, where they had the upper advantage of not just, you know, power-packed pushes and aggressive playstyles, but now you have them at the mercy of your playstyle and having to be 9-1 up. What a twist around this has been for FS.
Oh.
And with that, yeah, I mean, what really can you do in that kind of situation?
Maybe this. A nice gravity well from the Astra gets Relic at least 1 kill, but that's all she wrote for him. And even economic damage doesn't make sense at this point, right? For True Rippers, even if they manage to somehow magically kill 4 players of FS and deal some economic damage, they can just buy again. 1 round left and like 9,000 extra money on everyone, so they have to go for the round win. 3 versus 3, and they're starting to get the frags with the Sheriffs. Maybe this is possible after all, but the moment I say that, Dominic and Kohli, they get rid of all the hopes that True Rippers might have had in this round.
Paradox has to go down. There's no other way about it, and with
Last
that,
round in the half.
probably a very, very disappointing first half for the side of True Rippers. Not a single one of them has even gone past 6 kills, and that's been Master.
Yeah.
For the last, I think 3-4 rounds, he's just been there.
And that's such a contrasting picture, right? Because if you take a look at Badman's score, he's got only 2 frags. But he doesn't even need to do anything. Dominic, Kohli, Cortez, they are mopping up the floor. 14, 13 frags in them respectively. And then not a single player from True Rippers above 6. It's a bit of a unevenly distributed scoreboard over here. FS now just gearing up outside of B. Small pause has come in, but I think we're gonna get the game underway soon. I think hopefully Paradox should be able to play really well now because his proper net is back, no longer on the mobile data. The ping is better for him now, so hopefully he can land the shots. And hopefully they can at least get to 10-2.
I mean, that's the dream.
That's the dream.
A dream
9-3
that-
would have been the ideal dream,
I
considering
mean,
it. Do we still want to carry forward the whole 9-3 cursed scoreline stereotype into the next year, or are we just gonna leave that in 2021?
let's find out whether or not that comes into play the next time we see that scoreline. Clearly not this time. Could
Yeah.
come in Icebox because it looks like we might just see Icebox here. But
Yeah, and then we're most likely gonna see Icebox unless True Rippers can pull a rabbit out of the hat in the second half.
a rabbit. They're gonna have to pull the bloody Eiffel Tower out of the hat.
I know.
Okay. Okay.
They're
Relic.
starting. I mean,
What?
they pull a frag just straight out of the wall. Relic doesn't even get tagged, so he can't get counter shot through that wall. And now they have an Odin. One tap god also getting the kill on Batman. True Rippers are making this one work. There's some hope. Paradox holding an extremely close angle, and there you go. B2 wide peeks and just runs past him. Crosshair made it a bit irrelevant because of the smoke, but the shotguns are still making things work. And the frag from Crosshair is also great. I mean, he's just throwing bodies at his opponents right now, but the mana advantage still lies with True Rippers. Spike dropped, Dominic's position revealed, and he's down to just 33 HP. One bullet should be enough to deal with him, but if he can win this 1v1 against Master, then things are looking better for him. Master just too good on the strafe. Well, at least not all is lost.
Switching sides.
Yeah, the dream has been achieved. 10-2. We are gonna be not too far deep into the water with 11-1.
This is far from a dream scenario, though.
This is, your head's under the water,
Yeah.
and you just have one hand above, and you need to pull yourself up with that hand. And the only way you do that is start off with a pistol, win the round after, and the one after that. Even
Yeah.
after doing all of that, you're still gonna be halfway away. So True Rippers really need to find a groove to work with, because them on the attack is something that helps them a lot, but they need to be careful because FS right now are feeling confidence oozing through their veins.
Exactly. I mean, yes, True Rippers have their head out of the water, but they are still far from the shore. They need to swim back to the shore. And the way FS is playing, this could very well be a tsunami that overwhelms True Rippers. With superior numbers, True Rippers move inside, but Paradox is shooting at B2, making for an easy frag for Dominic, and he's shooting everybody down. Crosshair was vulnerable, so Dominic getting a headshot is just overkill. He needed 3 bullets to kill that person. Master left in a 1v4. Doesn't even have his turret, man. I mean, the turret can be an annoying piece if you didn't deal with in the pistol round, but without it, the Killjoy is kinda useless. Nope, I take my words back. Just pulled off a Killjoy diff. Still, he's only got time in his favor, nothing else. The players of FS, they're not even moving towards B site and giving him the benefit of doubt. They're all just staying towards A, which is exactly where Master is headed. He's going straight for a trap.
Well, he's got 40 seconds to play with, so he could choose to go towards B still. But he's hearing Coley jumping up and down. He knows he's right under heaven. Oh, spotted
Hello.
out. And that recon is gonna come straight out.
30 seconds left.
Position being given away, and everybody comes right over here. Oh, he's got it. Now he cannot escape. Doesn't matter when he throws down the turret. He throws down a nuke. It doesn't matter. He's got 3 players. Wait,
How
what?
is he live?
I mean,
Hey,
he's
at
got no
least-
time.
Yeah, I hope he dies before the timer runs
Hello?
out. Otherwise,
10
he's gonna
seconds
have a massive economic penalty. Yeah, he runs. He dies before the timer runs out. So at least that economic penalty doesn't kick in. But man, FS are kicking True Rippers when they are down. 1 round away from map point, and Icebox seems inevitable at this point.
Should I play some stars in this reality?
I mean, the way that Dominic held on the site was brilliant. I think that FS they
Yeah.
might have just done more than enough to get over the line with this one.
Yeah.
They're probably going to win this one, this round, and take it to match point. And consecutively, they might give away 2 rounds after that. But I don't see this going any further than 13-4, 13-5 maybe.
Oh, B2 feeling super
Spike
confident,
down
getting a
mid.
Vandal already. And Kohli with a shock dart kill, that's just cherry on top of the cake. Wants to
One
finish this
enemy
off. He's
remaining.
rushing right in, not giving a single quad to the True Rippers. That's it. They want to get this map out of the way and get into the
Match
icy
point.
tundra.
Yeah. I mean, on Icebox, there is one thing that's for sure, though. Paradox is going to have a good time because I've seen him play on Icebox multiple times now.
Mhm.
And he enjoys the big, spacey plays that he can make. He can run around everywhere. He can try and make so many different, positional plays in terms of how he uses operator. And even when he just goes, dashes in updraft towards mid with his knives. But for now, look at this FS setup. 4 players here, Crips. This is going to be scary. This is
I
going to
know.
be scary. This is going to be scary. Relic is probably related to his team, but they're still actually going towards A. Paradox takes one out. There's a couple more left, but it's still a 4v4. And just like that, Paradox has whiffed his shots. And even though True Rippers have taken over Heaven, I don't see them winning this one out. 3 versus 4. Where do you go from here?
Straight into the site. Go for the plant, True Rippers. They're inside the defender spawn. Can you believe it? They are on the verge of losing this map, and they are rotating from the defender spawn into the beast site. At least they've got the site in control. They can go for the plant, 3v3. True Rippers can still stay alive in this game.
Spike planted.
Yeah, they most certainly can. Here goes the drone to scout out anybody close by. Nobody towards spawn, so that's one thing that they're going to be absolutely sure about, that they do not need to look towards spawn. 3 players that are coming in for the retake, all from B main. And this is what it's all about. Kohli almost was going to get a kill over there, but he gets away from that corner. Master. One tap God is going to somehow give away his position. And it's getting a little bit chaotic here. Cortez will go down. Master's doing work. And Master's going to find all 3 of them. That's going to be number 3 for the side of True Rippers. But still, it's just one step towards Mount Everest from its foot. It's a huge mountain to climb.
Yeah, they're at the base of it, and maybe an ice pick that they can use to scale this massive length is the lockdown available on Master. And it's lucky for them because Kohli doesn't have his Hunter's Fury, so this lockdown could not be destroyed. Let's see if they can actually use it to their advantage, though. I have to admit, that was a damn sweaty round from True Rippers. It was a bit unorthodox as well. I mean, they were in defender spawn as attackers. It was a bit weird, but they made it work. Kohli getting tagged, somehow makes it back to safety before he can get ball banged, but Paradox follows up very quickly in the side already, and the spike is yet to make its way in. Lockdown forces away all the defenders, which buys enough time for True Rippers to go for the plant, but still, in this 4v5, things are not impossible for FS. They get the kill onto Paradox, even though he was in an off angle. Batman expecting the unexpected. And somehow they take away the man advantage from True Rippers. FS clawing their way back into this site. They want to end the game right here and now. But can they do it? One tap God. He's in a position from where he can spot them crossing the other side and relay the information to his teammates. Ready for the flash so that Master can peek. And Master does peek, gets the frag onto Batman. Great coordination, but Cortez making things difficult. 2 versus 2 and time is ticking. And Dominic is the last line of defense. Needs to get this.
Oh,
Does he
that
have
jump.
enough time? I
I don't know. I know he
think so.
doesn't. No, he doesn't. I think that... Oh, that was a little unfortunate. They got it so close, but it's going to be another eco for the side of FS. They're going to have to let it go to 13-5 to try and make them take us towards Icebox. But that's kind of how I saw it coming. I saw and knew that True Rippers would at least win a couple of rounds before this one went down the drain for them. But yeah, I think just one more round and FS are then going to try and whip up some other strategy to try and win this. But True Rippers, well, they're going to try and keep up this momentum for as long as they possibly can. Not give up till the very end.
Yeah, but how far away is the very end? It's just like the song Die For You. There's only one thing that they can do. Fight until the end like they promised to. And Paradox, yeah, his promises fall short. The stinger of all weapons gets the kill onto him. One tap got running and gunning. The panic spray doesn't help him out, but True Rippers are still not completely out of this one. They've got the weapons. Only B2 has a Phantom. That's the danger man they need to deal with. Crosshair getting upstairs. He won't be able to find anyone because nobody is on Heaven. And now he's given away his position. They're all looking towards him. Only person who could potentially use this as a distraction is Master, but he's been taken care of already, and now they know where Crosshair is, so it's a nearly impossible 1v3. Can he isolate the frags? Spots out B2, pulls out the bow at the wrong time, and he's getting pummeled in both directions. Confused,
Okay.
and now charred. FS Esports nail this win home.
That was an interesting thrifty to finish it all off. I really thought that True Rippers were going to take it to 13-5 at least, but the way the side of FS played this entire map of Ascent has been pretty amazing. Winning this one has to give them a lot more confidence going into Icebox, has to give them a lot more confidence thinking about how they're going to approach the rest of the season, because they did lose out on their first game against Valor. And for them to pull it back yet again, now take us to a third map. Hopefully this time they will not lose it. But True Rippers are a team that's, well, just as good as Valor, if not better. So it's all going to be taking a little bit more time to see whether or not who's going to be winning this one out. But until then, let's have a look at the highlights and see what went down in Ascent, because this was a total domination from the side of FS Esports, start to finish.
Oh, yep. FS Esports were in the driving seat and they did not let their foot off of the gas pedal, just driving the win home all the way and not slowing down at all. There was one round where I thought True Rippers can actually put up a great fight, and that was the round where Paradox was able to get towards high mid, 15 seconds into the round, and that was honestly the only true win that they got in the first half. The only round that they won in the first half was that one where Paradox made that play, and the last round of the half, which honestly doesn't even count as a win because that was mostly FS succumbing to their own mistakes. So there was only one round in the entire game where True Rippers, with their own merit and control, were able to drive the win home. Throughout the rest of the game, FS seemed to be in control, so they did not give any quarters to True Rippers, not any chance of a comeback. And there were some moments where I thought True Rippers might be able to outposition their opponents, but the moment that glimmer of hope started to shine, it was instantly shut down by FS. Plunged back into the darkness as FS Esports able to win the second map, and in a pretty convincing fashion too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the rounds that True Rippers were able to win, most of them came down to 1v1s. Sometimes everyone died and True Rippers was able to win because, the spike exploded or something like that. So yeah, FS Esports looking real comfortable on Ascent. That's the power of this team when they are playing a map that they are not unfamiliar with. Even on Fracture, sure, True Rippers might have been able to win, but you see how FS Esports was able to deal with everything that True Rippers was throwing at them. And now that they're heading into a map like Icebox, a map which FS is not completely unfamiliar with, I really think FS might just be the better team today. They could complete the reverse sweep.
Yeah, they probably could compete the reverse sweep. I think it's going to be, an important win for them as well if they do win this one out completely, because FS Esports, they are a team that has literally been giving competition to anybody and everybody in the scene right now. They are potentially going to be, one of the top teams in by the end of this year, hopefully, along with True Rippers. And this is the base for them. They need to start off right now. Both these teams have the potential to make it to the top, and both of them giving competition to each other is what they need the most. And now that we're moving into Icebox, the final map of this series, we are going to see both of these teams have their players perform at the highest level. Dominic, with 26 kills, has absolutely turned this game around for his team. He had a little bit of a silent game in the previous one, but this time, with 26 and the controller, actually, I did not even notice that. He got 26. I thought it was just going around the board, but 26 for a controller is brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Not just as a controller, any player, 26 frags is a big damn deal. And then on the other side, we see the complete opposite. You've got players on single digits, and Master's the only one who has 16 frags, literally double the amount of frags that One Tap God has. So, of course, the frags were distributed a bit unevenly across the board, a similar story to what happened in Fracture, but this was a lot more one sided towards FS Esports.
Yeah.
Scores are tied, 1-all. Now we're heading into Icebox. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get wintry in here. You better get your popcorn and something warm to drink alongside it, because this game is going to require everything from these teams. We're going to be right back after a short break. Don't go anywhere.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hey guys, welcome back to LG Ultragear Tec Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial and apparel partner 6x6. Two maps are down. True Rippers was able to win Fracture, and then FS Esports won Ascent in a pretty convincing fashion, I must say. 13-4 is a damn good scoreline. They didn't even let True Rippers get anywhere close to them. Icebox, that's going to be a bit of a sweaty match. I think this might even go down to the wire because we know for a fact that True Rippers are damn good on Icebox. They're aggressive, they get into the uncomfortable angles, which force their opponents to either overextend or bait out a mistake. But then on the other hand, the way FS Esports have reinvented themselves over the last few weeks, it seems like they're a completely different team. It feels like I'm seeing a new entity altogether. So that's just how good FS Esports have been on Ascent. Even in Fracture, they were doing really well. I mean, they're not comfortable with the map still, getting 7 rounds. And some of the rounds that they lost were like down to the wire with 1v1s and 2v2s. I think this is going to be a damn good game. The perfect end to a series like this.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot more interesting than the first two maps. I think it's going to be down to the wire. Hopefully, I don't see this going a landslide victory because FS are good at Icebox, TR are good
Mhm.
at Icebox. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, this should maybe be a 13-10, 13-9 somewhere scoreline around that. And
But in favor of who?
that is something that I
Not
would
a question we
leave.
can answer. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
agree.
leave that up to the gods and whoever they decide, or up to the skill. I think that's better. Let's just leave it up to the skill
Yeah.
of the players.
Gods will descend into the server as Icebox is about to turn into a divine holy battle place. Let's jump into the game, ladies and gentlemen. We will be going live with Icebox quickly, heading into agent selection soon. Now, one main question. We never saw Chamber in Ascent. Do you think we'll see it in Icebox? Or
I
is it
no,
or is it inappropriate for us to like keep forcing Chamber everywhere?
nah, I don't think we're gonna see a chamber. I would ideally say don't pick a chamber on Icebox. He's not
Yeah.
built for this.
I mean, as good as a character he is, the Icebox lineup remains the same for nearly every team, no matter what they do, right? Everyone picks up the Viper, Sova, Sage, and Killjoy.
Yeah,
But
that's kind of that's kind of the norm. You have to go with this lineup, otherwise you just
Mhm.
you throw even one agent off over here, and you're going to have to deal with something different. You might have a double duelist setup coming in, like
Mm-hmm.
True Rippers are going for right now, but even then, they've got those three basic agents. That's the Sage, Sova, and Viper. If you don't
Yeah,
have those
that's
three,
staple.
yeah, and you can throw a Killjoy in and out of that, but if you have these four agents, out of which you can always pick three, one of them has to be the Sage or the Killjoy because, well, Sentinels, then you're
Mm.
going to be good to go. But I'm only concerned about one thing: is the Raze going to be more potent than the
Choose your
Killjoy on this
agent.
map? Because as a Killjoy, the defensive qualities on Icebox are very important. Because
Yeah.
I I'm not quite sure how good the grenade of a Raze is going to be in a map as big as this, which has got so much free space, except for a couple of corners on the A side, I would say.
I mean, uh, even though they are lacking a killjoy, there is one thing that True Rippers can do over here. If they keep their Viper and the Raze alive in post-plant situations, their utility could easily hamper the spike defuse, which is something that the killjoy also does, right? But the nanoswarms is supposed to hamper and disrupt the defuse from happening. So I think that's still possible by True Rippers. A win condition for True Rippers over here would be to nail the timing of that Raze push. I mean, consider this: a slow orb from the Sage and a paint shell from one tap god. That's a bombo combo, deadly one. And if they're able to catch players of FS with that, I think that's going to be great. But we'll see whether or not they're actually successful. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into the game. Icebox is ready. We're seeing True Rippers on the attacking side, FS on defense. We have Dominic on the Viper, Cortez on Jet, Badman as usual with his standard Killjoy, his comfort pick, B2 with the Sage this time around. He was playing Reyna last time. He's gone for a Sage, most likely a battle Sage, and Cooley on the Sova. For True Rippers, Paradox as always on Jet, Master on the Sage, Relic on Viper, Crosshair on Sova, and One Tap God on Race. And it's going to be an A hit. Paradox destroying Cortez right off the bat. That's what we want to see to begin things with, and he gets healed up too. Paint shells across the other side, and look at the positioning of that barrier orb. It stops the players of True Rippers from coming in towards screens, funneling them towards the planting region. Counter utility not thrown by FS, but they're just going in for the kills right now. The man advantage probably won't help them out all that much because B2 is barely alive, but if he can stay alive for a little bit longer, he's gonna have his heal available. That could be a game changer. 4 versus 5 still the case, and Cooley instantly takes care of him. More to follow as the defenders now start to flood the sites, and the close corners have been cleared off already. Post punts, are they going to be possible? Relic's backstab could be essential, but he needs to move a little bit faster. He missed his window of opportunity, and he gets double peaked. He still gets them both. Amazing stuff from Relic. How is this even possible? His teammates helped him out so much with dishing damage, and he delivers the final blow. Oh my god. That round would have been impossible to win if it wasn't for Relic. I mean, consider the setup for True Rippers. They weren't even able to fall back. They were holding the close angles. They got dealt with. The other two players had no opportunity to fall back towards Belt or towards Pipes. And if it wasn't for Relic's timing, they would have lost.
Yeah, they most certainly would have lost it. But the one thing that they really needed at that point was Crosshair to find one kill, which he did. And that allowed Relic to come in for the backstab and find 2 for himself. Otherwise, that could have just gone awry. Because Relic, after that, would have been in a 1v3, which wouldn't have been possible. And now, thanks to that one pistol, they're going to have a little bit of extra weaponry to work with. And One Tap God will spray down a couple of easy frags here. Gets one. Dominic and Batman get back 2, though. And they made it 3 versus 1 now. Dominic, the only one alive, got a sheriff in his hand. And he's going to be able to at least get 1, I should believe, if he finds somebody looking in the other direction. But they know that he's here, so I don't see him winning this one. And he's also got a backstab in the form of Paradox coming in.
I mean, the fact that he's able to get that 1 kill on mid itself is big enough. Nobody would have expected a defender to push out of mid on an eco round, especially when the spike plant is already underway on the A side. So that unexpected push does net him 1 kill, keeping the economy of True Rippers a bit humble for now. It's going to be a bonus for them, so FS need to finish them off right here and now. And they need to win the next round as well if they want to truly break the economy of True Rippers. But Paradox has that operator, and you can never be comfortable with that weapon in his hands.
Yeah, the fact that it's just the 3rd round
Yeah, he does that every time, right? He did it in Fracture, he did it in
This
Ascent.
man,
Getting the operator online so early in every map.
he's not afraid of anything. He's like, I don't care if they take my operator, even if I die. I'm just gonna go ahead with it. And now that the operator has been given away, they're gonna play this a little bit more safe. Cortez dashes away to safety. The grenade of no use, but Kohli's weapon
Spike
will
down
be.
A.
He's gonna take down the Sage Master, and that's gonna mean no more slow orbs, no more walls, nothing available for the side of the attackers. One tap got though. Perfect timing, cross it. What is happening?
This barrier orb is working against them so many times, and FS have failed in the past because of this barrier orb being placed over here. It basically gives True Rippers whatever they want. It allows them to focus towards the main planting region instead of having to worry about getting peeked from screens. That barrier orb is actually helping out True Rippers more than it's helping out FS. I would rather have them save that barrier up for a post-plant situation or maybe wall off the kitchen entrance, but take a look at how cautious True Rippers are being. Even though they got the opening frags towards the ace side, they're not moving in yet.
30 seconds left.
They're taking their sweet time still towards pipes. Kohli coming in for the backstab. That timing is good. He did not get spotted by anyone. If he can hurry, he can potentially get 2 kills over here. Oh, and now both of them are coming in from behind. Okay. Relic ready.
Player standing.
Wins the duel and no trades by Dominic.
Well, he was a little far off, not too much, but there was obviously going to be no trade available there for him. Okay, finally he does get it though. Relic was playing around with the ropes and he gets punished for it. And Dominic's
I think that was
run away.
deliberate though. Probably could have been deliberate, but either way, there's not much that he can do. So this is a save already.
I mean, there is a hunt coming in. We can't see one tap god just running across this place. Oh,
They don't need to hunt him. I mean,
But
it's
they
not like True
want
Ripper's economy is that good. We saw FS hunting down the members of True Rippers in Ascent because they had 9,000 bucks to spare. Can't really say the same that True Rippers have the same level of comfort right now, but hey, they all survive. Dominic gets to carry his Vandal forward. His teammates are most likely going to pick up Sheriffs and stuff. And True Rippers as comfortable as ever. They survive the bonus onslaught.
yeah,
this
and they
means that-
survive with multiple players as well. So
Exactly. So now the economic snowball starts to roll in the favor of True Rippers.
this is where things get a little difficult for FS. They lose this, they give away fourth. It's kind of given that they lose this, but it's always a 90% chance that the side of True Rippers win this. The 10% depends on the thrifty that, you know, FS have pulled before, by the way. This time, Batman looking for that thrifty towards mid is gonna actually clear off a lot of it, and the B side has already been detected as a point of attraction, and here we go.
Yeah, the rotation's already underway. FS went for a stack on the ace side, but they quickly adjust. And as the spike starts to get planted, more utility is being thrown to delay the plant just a little bit. The snake fight stopped happening just now. Cortez trying to win the duel against Relic, but in the 1v1 against Manu, there's not much that he can do. Maybe Kohli can finish off what his teammates started, already dealing a lot of damage with the shock dart. So a kill is not completely out of the cards yet. But how will they go for the defuse? They don't have the barrier up, which is essential in a retake situation like this. And it was an equal round, so they were never supposed to win in the first place. Maybe cause some economic damage, keep it humble. Nah, that's pretty much it. 4 rounds in a row for True Rippers, and they retain 3 of their weapons. They even retain the op. True Rippers are floating with the idea of reaching the 7,000 credits mark. It's not where FS want them to be.
Yeah, clearly not, but they will have a buy coming in FS, and they've got an operator on the hands of Cortez. By the way, he is playing a glass cannon, so that should be a little bit of a concern, because 2 bullets to his body, and he's probably going to have a little bit of a tough time staying alive. He does have a healer right next to him, though, so good strategy in terms of placing agents next to each other. They've got 3 on A, and that's a good read as Relic is moving in, and Cortez, he will take down Paradox. And with this, we've got an early advantage for FS for the first time in a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
As Batman adds up to that advantage, and now we have a 3v5.
What did True Rippers do? They still have the Hunter's Fury and Crosser. They could use that to clear out some of the more common angles. They have isolated B2, but look at the Cloud Burst. The cover from Cortez is amazing. It allows his Sage to fall back to a safer position. And as they try to chase the Sage, Kohli is making sure that that chase ends in an abrupt and sad ending. Oh, amazing adjustment from FS. And the one thing I love the most is the placement of the barrier orb by B2. Before this, he was placing it towards the screens region, a little closer to pipes. This time, he saved it, planted it a little closer to the spike region, and what that barrier orb does is essentially stop the players of True Rippers from planting directly. They're going to be forced to waste some time, break that barrier orb before they can even access the planting region. And that buys enough time for FS to call their players in, get the rotation here. Oh, very creative barrier up this time around, essentially locking out the B side, and he doesn't spot anyone, so they know for a fact that this is going to be an A hit. Viper Spit on A, barrier orb on B. Where do True Rippers go now? Because both the entrances are locked.
There's the Hunter's Fury also coming in. A lot of ultimates being committed here. A little too close for comfort. Paradox is on top of things, and he's going to go down. Dominic finds a great kill onto him, and now with that, it's a 5v4. And Dominic still wants blood.
I'm very anxious looking at like 11 HP on him, and this is the angle that people most likely pre-fire. Like, if he dies to a random stray bullet, that's gonna be so unfortunate. But fortunately for him, True Rippers are not keen on going here anymore. Time is ticking away. 45 seconds on the clock. True Rippers need to make a move, and they're heading towards mid. And they're doing that without Master's barrier orb. This could be dangerous.
Oh,
It's been given up. The alarm bot will spot it. The FS have all the information they need. Batman
30
kills
seconds
Relic
left.
under tube. He knows there's one inside tube as well. So he's going to fall back, relinquish the kitchen region, and defend the B area instead. Because even if he gives up kitchen to True Rippers, there's not much that they can do with it.
Yeah, indeed. Look at Master. B2's holding off this angle for his teammates. And he should be able to get those kills over there. One is going down, and there's one more to follow. Dominic gets him, and Kohli to finish it off. And that's another beautiful round. Make that a flawless round, actually, for FS. Nobody dropped, and they are building up their own economy now. As True Rippers, what happened to you in the last 2 rounds? That was kind of suddenly a drop-off like that.
Yeah, I don't blame them for this round. FS played beautifully. The adjustment of the barrier orb made things easier. And yeah, I expressed my disappointment with the way B2 was using the barrier orb in the first 2 rounds. But now look at the way he's adjusted. Brilliant stuff. Getting the high ground on B and then the Viper Spit on
Get
A.
out of my way.
Basically locked out both the avenues for True Ripper's entry. And now they were forced to go towards mid. They're throwing mid again. Okay? The drone will spot out a couple of players, which will delay the push from True Rippers at best, but it's not going to stop it. They're still very keen on heading down this region. Kohli, the sole person defending, calls for backup. Multiple enemies present over here now. FS are reinforcing the mid-region at the cost of A. They're just using the Killjoy utility to defend the A side in case anyone goes there, but Cortez so accurate with the AWP. Maybe Dominic gets punished. Yes, he does. 1-for-1 trade, and Master now has the revive.
Yeah, he does.
Is one tap out of a safe position? I think so.
They go, yeah, they want the revive. They're going for the revive. Paradox is gonna leave that weapon right there so that his
You will not
teammate
kill
will be
my
able to
ally.
fight it because he's got knives and he's gonna face Kohli in just about a second. Kohli will take him down to the wall, and that's pretty much all he needed. That recon is gonna give away nothing, but they know that they've been pushed away from this tube position, and that's FS trying to give away a little bit dominance in terms of map control. And everybody from True Rippers now have decided to go towards A in the last 30 seconds of the round.
left.
Yeah, and if they go towards A, they can easily plant. There's not much contention over here. There's only the Killjoy present, who's most likely just going to activate the nanoswarms and try to delay the plant if possible. Oh, no! He boils one tap, got alive. That's the showstopper wasted. And 14 seconds left. All this delaying tactics is going to put a lot of pressure onto True Rippers. They won't be allowed to fall back in time. The lockdown will make sure that they're uncomfortable. Hunter's Fury committed by Crosshair just to allow his teammates to come closer to safety. But it's just B2 left. And True Rippers hold on. If it wasn't for Crosshair, this round would have been done and dusted right there. That Hunter's Fury bought enough time for his teammates to fall back towards belt and get into post-plant positions. Because if he didn't do that, then nobody could have gotten away from that kill box. Nobody would have even been able to retreat beyond the 410 box, which is exactly what FS wanted. They wanted to keep True Rippers focused towards the planting region so that they could fight them, kill them right then and there. If True Rippers fell back, then the round is done and dusted. And FS knew that. They know the win conditions, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that they fight True Rippers on their own terms.
Indeed. Now there's a heavy push towards A, while there's one player of Relic towards B who's trying to give off a little bit of a fake here, or hold down somebody pushing in. He might have faced a Viper, but he gets away from this position. And here's Paradox trying to assert his dominance, getting closer and closer to this A side. True Rippers are just seconds away from planting this, but they've got Batman to deal with. That wall going up is going to deny him, but he takes it out immediately. Master needs to be careful. Crosshair's there to support him. And with that, there's a 4v4 retake.
The retake does look pretty difficult for FS. They don't have any ultimates to make this easier. No utility as well to cover up some room. They've even used the barrier orb, so defusing the spike is going to be extremely difficult. Plus, Relic is still alive, so he can always use the post-plant snakebite lineups and delay the defuse for as long as possible. FS looking very, very pinched. Can they make this work? There's two people about to jump, and Paradox is ready for this one. First one dealt with, second one directly above. Misses the shot, but somehow keeps himself relevant. Cortes with the no-scope. Amazing stuff, but Relic is just too good over here. Acting like an insurance policy, dealing with all the variables, and that's True Ripper still in the driving seat. And FS is broke. They've got nothing but pennies and pocket lint now.
Yeah, indeed. They're going to have to work with the Sheriff. They're going to have to work with the Spectres if they can afford to buy that and keep themselves ready for the next round to buy in a better weapon as well. But for now, FS, they're slipping. They might have put up 2 great rounds, but since then, it's just been a little bit of a slip. 2 rounds given away. Might be a third yet again. 7 and 2 looking inevitable at this point. The side of FS will have one ultimate that's already been activated as Batman. He activates his aim, finds a beautiful kill onto Relic, but that's still not going to stop the side of True Rippers. They will have themselves the B side all for themselves. Take the fights in, take one person down, and get the plant down as soon as possible in this 3v4 post-plant situation.
This is the first time True Rippers committed to the B side fully without ever even venturing towards mid. Haven't seen True Rippers do that in the match so far, but it works like a charm. Although, I must give them the benefit of doubt, FS was on an eco. So we can't really determine the potency of True Rippers' actual execute by this round's result. Of course, they're going to win it nonetheless. 7-2 is a great start for them. They've already won the half. Couple of rounds left, which is just gonna drive the point even further deeper. Oh, revive available now. It's most likely a bait res, but B2 gets taken down himself. Dominic, he's desperately trying to find a weapon. He's not gonna find anything except a bullet in his brain.
That is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate for the side of FS. The revive was committed in thinking that they would go in for it, but I think I really think that the revive could have been saved for a better round here, Chris, because
yeah.
I personally feel that with the stakes that close up to the point where the spike could have not probably been diffused, even if they had killed the other 2 players, because the attackers would have done anything to just stay alive till the end and give them a little bit of a, you know, a jiggly Jew kind of a play style. They would just wait and wait and wait and just give them, you know, a couple of flaring bullets, warning shots, and not let them defuse the spike. So the revive, I think, was a little impulsively made, which I think maybe could have used for this round, if at all, you know, they needed with better weaponry.
That's the FS coach, Raymond. Not muttering words of wisdom into the ears of his teammates. Raymond, by the way, had the pleasure of talking to him a couple of times, and he's damn good at reviewing demos. But how good is this advice going to be in the heat of the action when FS need to adjust? And if they can't, then they're going to be on an eco in the next round, which means they must win this. Otherwise, True Rippers can run away with the half.
Yeah, that's going to be, you know, FS slowly stepping towards another loss in the TC Gauntlet Season 4, which is something that I'm pretty sure that they do not want at this stage. But True Rippers are looking far too strong at the moment. Paradox has been spotted out here thanks to the recon. Cortez has been tagged as well. FS getting too close to danger, but they're handling it well. B2 will go down looking in the wrong direction. As Cortez will stabilize his team's man advantage. 4 versus 3.
Oh, no. That paint shell was amazing. It stopped Crosshair from venturing towards screens. He was trying to go for a disruptive play, hoping to get the kill onto the player on Raptors, but that was denied. Kohli also just trying to make sure they can't get too comfortable inside over here. Of course, that Hunter's Beauty could have been stopped to deny the plant, but one tap got taken down, and it seems like FS have things in control, unless Crosshair somehow negates everyone who's coming through screens. The Relic hasn't been revealed just yet, but Crosshair's dead. It's just down to him. And they can't do it. FS, the advice worked. They just let True Rippers have their way with the A side and played for the retake instead. And look at the amount of disruptive utility that FS are using right now that stops the players of True Rippers from falling back. They basically made sure that True Rippers don't get too comfortable near the pipes region. The paint shell made sure that Crosshair can't do any of his shenanigans, getting the kill onto Raptor players. And then the snake bites came through directly at the conjunction of the ultimate orb area, which gives damage to any of the players as they're trying to fall back. So FS, on the basis of the utility, make True Rippers a bit uncomfortable. But still, it's just 7-3. No matter what they do, True Rippers already have the lead in the SAF.
Yeah, well, they gotta try and shorten it as much as possible and hopefully make it 7-5, but Miss Cortez trying to make that,
Spike down.
translate that, what I just said, make it 7-3 to 7-5. With that first skill, it's gonna be a lot more easier. There is a revive available though, so they're gonna be going for that. So no harm, no foul. But that is a little bit of FS showing their dominance. Cortez still around with the looming operator. They don't know where he is, but Paradox is inching closer to the side. And now he knows that he's close by. And Paradox needs to be careful. Pulling in closer. Free kill. And that's True Rippers taking back man advantage.
Only Paradox can pull off plays like this. Pushing in through enemy lines. Look at him, he's so deep. He's towards Snowpile. And this position is exactly what's stopping the forces of FS from taking control of Oranges. A third for him. Maybe a fourth could be on the cards. And this push from Paradox is all that True Rippers had in this round. The operator could have been singing the songs of death, but imagine the amount of effort and guts it takes to push through that box in between the site and punish FS, who were not even thinking of the possibility of a counter push from Paradox. It was damn risky, but it's totally worth it. Cortez doesn't even get the pleasure of looking at Paradox, the man who slaughtered half his team. Oh, nice shot though, but he can't carry the orb forward. And you know what's the worst part? He died after the timer ran out, which means he's not gonna get the loss bonus.
Oh boy. This is interesting. FS are finding good ways to make this round come into their favor, but then immediately True Rippers have that crazy play come in by Paradox, which he just did. Slowly creeping into enemy lines, finds one, then gets another, goes up for a third as well, and this time True Rippers got a little too close, but they're gonna be able to stabilize it. I really thought that the side of FS were gonna get that one kill in the beginning, but no. True Rippers are just absolutely demolition worthy right now. And they're going to be looking for that 9-3 scoreline, which, by the way, Crips, we spoke about earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, in 2021, we used to make these jokes that 9-3 is the cursed scoreline which enables comebacks. Let's see if that thing is going to continue in 2022, or that's a trend that we leave in the past.
I mean, it's all for FS to show us whether or not they're going to be, proving the curse to be true or not. A lot of people still believe in it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in chat also will be talking about the curse being real, 9-3 curse. Multiple times I've seen that happen, multiple times where it's not happened as well, but I really want to know, why is it only the 9-3? We've seen multiple comebacks happen even from 10-2, 8-4. Hell, even
like superstition always has its way, man. You can't explain that with logic. What you can explain is the wonderful way in which True Rippers adjusted to the adjustment of FS Esports. It's like Inception all over again. Paradox falling back to safety, spots out one player towards belt. But that doesn't guarantee anything because FS are present towards the B side as well. That spot on A belt means absolutely nothing for True Rippers, as now they got a gamble. Is it A? Is it B? Paradox confirms the answer. It is indeed B. Doesn't spot anyone else. Rotation's on its way, but it might just be a bit delayed because Paradox has been taken down. Batman still keeping True Rippers on their feet. He was spotted going towards the A side, so now True Rippers have to wonder, where is the real hit coming?
There's a wall still available. The CH still has a wall, and Master could just shut this play down. If he wants to, he gets one and another! Master with the third, no! But he's probably done enough. Now it's a 2v2, and Crosshair and Relic have got the world against them. And one of the players off the side of True Rippers is going to take out one of the players of Tower. Dominic goes down to one shotgun, perfectly placed. And Kohli's left all alone. He's got two players, takes out one, and Kohli!
My babushka told me not to brag. For this, I make an exception.
Yeah, that silence tells you everything you need to know about the round. First of all, let me just confess something. A lot of the movements in this round made me say, bullshit, you just did that. First of all, how on earth is that Sage able to get all the way towards the attacking zipline tower, get 2 kills, and one of those kills was on pipes? Nobody saw him. 2 free kills, Spike spotted, and then something even more unbelievable happens, the 1v2 clutch, and Kohli was red, barely any HP left on the man, and he still pulls it off.
Wow.
FS are feeling themselves with their aim. That clutch giving them the power they need. Crosshair just about managing to get away. Left at 5 HP. This man's got 9 lives. He's like a cat. Quick on his feet. But Paradox denying Badman. Absolutely destroying his dome. Stealing his Spectre. And now additional firepower available for True Rippers. Maybe they might just be able to deny this.
Wait, what?
Crosshair also with the classic winning duels against Phantoms.
enemy
How is this
remaining.
happening?
Spike down B.
Hello? What?
Thrifty.
Crips, what did we just see?
Here.
You just saw FS getting rolled.
That was not supposed to be possible. When
Not
I
at
saw
all.
when I saw Crosshair go down to 5 HP, I was like, okay, this, I mean, pretty much done and dusted. Even though he's 5 HP and he's alive, it's still it's over because this was supposed to be an eco round for them, and instead it's FS who are like who went in blindsided by True Rippers, got absolutely obliterated by one player standing on the side and one player towards yellow, and then they just took out everybody inside.
Yeah.
Wow, True Rippers, beautifully done. A great
I mean,
thrifty.
It's not even like the True Rippers players had like a 200 IQ strat to win this. No, the crossfire was okay-ish, nothing out of the ordinary, but the firepower was just through the roof. Now they're trying to make a play from mid to B,
Spike down
and
B.
Master already shutting things down. Mid to B play without a barrier orb, always a bit dicey, but it seemed like FS are out of options, and now they're straight out of luck.
Crips, I hate to say it, but I think we're closing up to the climax here. Could be towards the end of this match.
Oof, 4-11. It looks like 9-3 doesn't hold any significance after all.
Throw the
There was a
cross
bit
in
of
the pit.
hope when FS won the pistol, but after that, they lost 2 in a row. Finally, they mustered up enough money for a buy, but will they be able to deal with the operator on Paradox? He's positioned himself towards the A site. Not the place where FS are going just yet, but maybe a mid play is in the works. Cortez dashing in already. Oh, look at Master. He's put down the barrier orb on tubes, but he's still gone ahead of it. Nobody will expect him over here.
No, he actually fired in. Dominic, I think, saw him. Or something. I don't know how Dominic expected that, but he's spammed him down to 58 HP. And he cannot even heal Master because they're going to hear him.
Yeah, and he can't even fall back, so he's trapped over here.
This is going to be a little bit of a problem. If Dominic chooses to check it, this is going to be the end of Master right there. And he even has a revive available.
Oh, yeah, that would be wasted. Master's already said his final rites. He's already done that ritual. And now the only ritual he has to do is nail the thread between the needle, and he does it! Amazing stuff, and now the barrier orb explodes. So he can fall back as well. I cannot believe that worked for him.
Well, That was a brilliant play by Master. Patience being rewarded the best here. As Batman will take out one. Okay, that was a little scary. If Paradox would have landed on the other side of the wall, he would have been obliterated to smithereens. But he stays alive, and now we've got a retake in a 4v4 situation.
Yeah, but retake with the operator could be a bit sweaty. He's checking out all the common angles, clearing out anywhere close to the barrier of. Spots out one. Amazing shot by One Tap God. And all the players' positions have been revealed. Master climbs up on the other side of the zipline tower, using the distraction, and it's perfect. Paradox with the frenzy of 4 weapons, driving the nail home, and that is it. This could have very well been the final nail in the coffin, because now FS have nothing. Nada. No money. And almost no hope as well.
Yeah, and they're gonna be getting delivered pretty much the same scoreline that they gave to the side of Two Rippers in the previous map, Icebox. By the way, I do have to, you know, put this into context that there have been multiple times that I've seen True Rippers pick Icebox as their go-to map.
Instead of Fracture?
Yeah, instead of Fracture. Or in any sort of case, right? Because I've seen them pull this multiple times, but FS, I actually have never seen them choose Icebox on their own.
Ouch. But Batman chooses violence the moment he wakes up. That's Paradox he just killed. Not only did he have the Blade Storm, but he also had the op. So that's a massive pick. And with that one kill, Batman has his ultimate available. He was just 1 point away from the lockdown. No, wait, never mind. That was a mistake. Batman always had a lockdown. My bad. And now Colby gets even further down the battle. FS might just be a little longer in this game after all. Crosshair and One Tap God don't really need to do anything in this round. They can potentially save, but will they? I mean, they're so close to victory, they might as well try. If not win the round, they can at least deliver some economic damage. They know that FS Esports had to buy weapons at the cost of sacrificing their armor. And that Boombot gives away the position of Foley. One Tap God getting the angle onto Dominic, but Cortez then through the smoke. Okay, at least they're doing a lot of damage. Batman picks up the off that Paradox gave them, but still, that was decent enough, right? I mean, with just 1 round away from victory, you kill 3 FS members, forcing them to reinvest into their weapons and armor, and now 4 of the members of FS have only half armor. Make it 3, as Dominic just afforded full armor, but still, they're keeping it humble, and I like it from True Rippers.
Yeah, they are, but they've still got another buy here, so they're going to be able to try and make this a 13-5 right here. And even after this, I think they should be able to afford rifles at the very least. And here we are. A B-side attack coming in. One Tap God trying to get away from that Hunter's Fury. And he misses the second one. And he will also be healed, One Tap God. As the side of FS are not giving up their stride towards the B-side. Cortez does have an operator. But is he going to be able to make that work in his favor?
The funny part is only the Raze has been spotted so far. FS have no idea the 3 defenders are on the B side. But that's good, I guess. I mean, they're heading towards the A side, which is relatively defenseless. There's only the Viper holding it over here, and One Tap God getting killed towards B just confirms their beliefs even further. Most likely, True Rippers will give up the A side and play for a retake. And if they do decide to contest, then it's going to have to be a Hail Mary push from the side of Relic. Viper utility going up. He's debating whether or not he should push from this one. He does push, but Batman instantly punishes it. 4v3. Crosshair kills Batman overextending, and that's the mistake that True Rippers were looking for. Shock starts to deny the plant, but there's only 30 seconds left. Can they stop the side of FS from falling back to safety? One guy getting pinged inside with the drone. That could have been a kill right there for Paradox, and so many people now shining through the screen too. Paradox gets all the frags. It's amazing how True Rippers are able to make this one work. They didn't even let the spike get planted.
Beautifully done by the side of True Rippers. The way that they held on their ground, this 3v3, it could have gone a lot more differently than expected. That right there, if Cortez would have connected that shot onto Paradox, this round could have been another FS Esports win. But then Paradox knew exactly where to sit down with his operator, waited for Cortez to come towards him, and him waiting on for that was perfect as, it looks like Paradox makes it look so easy that he's playing on a joystick. Okay.
Yeah, honestly though, I have to admit, the main reason why they were able to win that last round was because of the Sova. two people getting tagged by the same drone. Now that
Yeah.
isn't stuff that you see on a regular basis. And the drone wasn't even destroyed, which gave True Rippers all the information they needed. I mean, in a Viper's pit, there's always a chance of someone lurking outside of it, holding the angles, playing cheekily, but that drone gave them everything they needed. Figuring out the positions of two of the players, they knew that they are towards the 410 box, and then all they had to do was find the third player, which Paradox conveniently dispatched. Let's take a look at the highlights. That was a great game from True Rippers. The way they were able to make FS Esports uncomfortable in the retake situations using the utility is spot on. And True Rippers are not the kind of team that usually make plays on the basis of the utility. They usually make plays on the basis of timed pushes. Something that we got to see from Master towards that very awkward round where he was trapped outside of Tube. Remember? He walled
Yeah.
behind him. Those kind of plays are the plays that True Rippers generally make, pushing out at the worst time possible, catching their enemies off guard. But today we saw something completely different. True Rippers, on the basis of the SOA utility, on the basis of the paint shells and the timing of using those paint shells, they're making FS Esports uncomfortable, especially in crucial moments where they're supposed to either plant or defuse. And that causes so much chaos that True Rippers are able to capitalize on it.
Yeah. It kind of was, True Rippers trying to dictate the entire pace of the game, and that's kind of what they did, because you could see that FS were constantly playing under the mercy of what True Rippers were throwing at them. It was always whether or not True Rippers peaked first, and not whether FS peaked first in the entirety of this entire thing. Because whether or not it's attack or defense, True Rippers don't care. Their aggressive playstyle always lets them go up ahead, take the fights up first, and especially the fact that when it's a team like that, you got to try and stop them in their tracks rather than trying to go along with the flow that they create. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what FS Esports fell prey to. They went ahead and said, okay, True Rippers, we'll play along with you. And they tried to work
Yeah.
around it. They tried to see that if they could circle around this maneuver, but it's obviously not going to happen. When True Rippers are having their say on the game, they are not going to stop that flow, because they have multiple ways of approaching from the same pace.
Yeah.
They can attack B with the same aggression. They can attack A with the same aggression. They can go towards mid with the same aggression. They can stack up on three players in one side, get both the duelists going up front and supported from behind with the Sova. That's how the side of True Rippers play. And FS allowing them to do that was kind of one of the mistakes that, gave them away. And
Yeah.
in the end, True Rippers just capitalized on every single thing that FS were doing wrong. Multiple times where it was, there were moments of brilliance where FS
Yeah, Kohli
did come
clutch.
back. But then the immediate round after that was where FS were like, what the hell? How is that even happening?
Exactly. Like True Rippers are winning rounds when FS have Vandals and Phantoms, and True Rippers had only Frenzies and Classics. They didn't even have Sheriffs, man. So that's the kind of stuff that really put FS in their graves. And then there's plays like these. One tap God keeping the economy humble. Sure, he doesn't win this round out, but consider this. He's done so much damage. FS Esports have two weapons going into the final round like that. And then, of course, there's Paradox pushing through at the most unexpected times. And the drone in this round was so important. Tagging two people? Come on, man. That's not supposed to happen. He figured out the position of the Sova and the Sage, and then all he had to do was kill Cortez. That's it.
Yep. And when you're looking at numbers, you can see that Paradox, well, no surprise for him being on top over there. It's been a team effort for the side of True Rippers. 19 for Paradox, 18 for Master, 16 for Crosshair, 11 and 12 respectively for One Tap God and Relic. Whereas on the other side of things, Cortez, as a Jet, not really had as much of an impact as you would expect him to have. There is clear difference between him and Paradox here. And B2 as well. He might be the Sage, but it's just, the impact of a Sage has not been shown here, and the dominance that True Rippers have put across this entire series, except for the one map of Ascent, has been, really defining for them to get their second win, by the way. And FS Esports have been handed their second loss in a row, even though they've come up to the third map. So
yeah.
They might have not lost everything. They will have 2 points, but this is a stark difference from how they started off the previous season, by the way, because last season, they had only 2 losses and the remaining 5 were wins. So I hope that turns out to be the case this time as well. I really hope so. But they've already lost their first 2 matches, and they've still got a lot of teams to go by the way. When we look at the group standings, we will have a look at the other teams that they're going to have to face, because they still have, I think, Enigma, and they have pretty much quite a few other teams that
Yeah,
they're going to
we'll
have
take a look.
a lot more difficult standings against. Let's have a look at the group standings, as we are going to be discussing about this, as True Rippers are going to be on top of the table. And the one thing that the side of FS need to consider is, forgive me, they're in Group A. They're going to be facing against Team Exploit, who, by the way, still haven't played a map yet. Reckoning Esports with their whole new roster of the weird roster being picked up, the weird Esports roster. Team T69 are not too far behind either. Valor is still here. So FS Esports need to tighten up their shoelaces right about now.
Yep, better put on the running shoes, nice and tight, and get into the groove, because FS Esports is not going to get too many more chances. They've already lost 2 of them. At least they got 2 points out of it, so not everything is looking bleak, but they still need to catch up and somehow deliver results. Of course, with them being a new roster, I can understand they're a bit uncomfortable with this one, but there's not too much time left. So let's see what happens. Don't worry, guys. We have yet another game for you. We are done with this game. True Rippers are able to win it 2-1 overall. But up next, we have yet another very exciting game. It's T69 playing as well. T69 against RHOE coming up at 8 p.m., which is approximately an hour away now. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have an hour to go ahead, get your popcorn, restock on your snacks, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys were watching the LG Ultragear presents Tec Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial and an apparel partner 6x6. We'll see you in an hour, so don't go anywhere.
1, 2, 3, let's go.